Millimeter, it be accurately measured. It's measured flat, direction up and down. Flat level we at, flight over ground. Descending from that breeze, heading in degrees. Horizontal, flat, EST. Now you know it's flat below ground. Measured flat.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Sven P, Curved Fart, Pablo de la Cruz, Level Plain Poem, Vitali C, Colton James, Survive the Spin, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Tiers Morgan, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, J Mails 24, Yu Unamento, Iron 26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Bob Barker, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links, as I say, to Patreon are below this video. But with that, I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Wait, what do you mean God? Like, why would God kill gay people?
Okay,
Why
but
would
do you know
God
what's
kill
the
gay people? Well, he has a
sluttiest
history of
thing that
killing
men
gay
do?
people. I don't know if you remember history about how he
Well, no,
flooded
he
that,
has a
like
history of killing people, but
no, gay
Noah's
people
Ark.
specifically. Like didn't he like flood a gay city or something? I'm pretty sure he did that, right?
It wasn't just because they were gay, though, right? It's because it was like fucking the worst city ever, like the hedonism, whatever.
It's a homo town.
Yeah, so it was like corruption. You know, they disobeyed God's law. It wasn't just gay people, bro. Come on.
Your
Well,
mama.
my dad, when he told me that story when I was like 5 years old, he said, "Yeah, God smited them down for their
Yeah, of
whatever."
course you got that from your dad.
Well,
Yeah,
but
I did. And
didn't
I was
he
like,
do
"Oh,
something else
so
to you when
Daddy,
you
if
were
I ever
5 years
become
old?
gay, is God gonna kill me?" And he said,
Daddy?
"Yes."
Yeah, but didn't he do something else to you when you were 5 years old?
No, that
Yeah,
was
he
my
scared him
rabbi.
straight. Yo, so you got scared straight? Is that
Sorry,
what
my
happened?
bad.
You can
No,
make
I didn't get scared straight. That's not what happened. My parents just taught me like it's wrong.
Snail mail. I just got
It's just
snail
wrong,
mail.
bro.
Queen Elizabeth died.
You can, Queen Elizabeth
It's not
died
a
already 4
normal
years
thing.
ago.
It's not natural. It's like it's just a wrong thing to do. Besides like religion, like why would you love another man? You know, and like me looking at my parents being a happily
That
married
is pretty
couple for the
gay.
10 years of my life. You know, I was
Wait,
like,
so
yeah,
Apple,
I
do you
kind of
love
like
your
the
dad?
nuclear family.
Apple, do you love your dad?
Oh my
I love my
god.
dad. Yes, of course.
No, I'm just being bad for you. No, I'm sorry.
I love you, daddy.
There needs to be like a client-side filter that can make voices less annoying.
dad, but I mean love them in the relation.
We can make all the jokes. We can make all the jokes
Instead of
about gay
like blocking
people,
you or ignoring
but a
people, you
wo-
can just
but a
press a button
woman-
and it will change the way
woman
they
has
sound
died.
when they talk.
Simple.
So they won't
You know
sound like
what's the
fucking retards.
sluttiest
Gives a
thing
shit,
men
bro.
do?
Yo,
They
Apple,
like
do you
walk
tell
in
your dad
front
you
of
love
you
him?
with their back to you,
No, I've
but they're
never
like not letting you
I
pass
told
with
my
their
dad I love him,
shoulders.
but he's never told me.
Well, I mean, Hav, I don't think you ever told your dad that because he's not present. But it's all
That's
good, bro.
crazy.
That's mean. What the fuck?
He's making fun of my dad. I'm gonna fucking hit right back, bro. Fuck this guy.
Oh, okay.
Make
You know,
fun of
that's
his
Fuck
fair.
this
dad.
guy
He's
and his
not
nose
around.
piercing, man.
I don't know. It's like him nose piercing. You dox me?
Keela, you don't have a dad either, bro. He died in Ukraine.
Keela, do you tell your dad you love him?
He died in Ukraine. He doesn't have a dad, bro.
No. No.
I do, but he's dead.
His dad got blown up in a
Is that
T-72.
wrong for me to say to my father, I love
You're
you?
Albanian. You tell your dad if you
Seven or
dad if you love
eight
him.
kinds of love? Do
You
you
let
need to
her
talk over
put
me?
it in a
You
fruit
need
roll
to
up.
talk over me. I wasn't
I already
finished.
okay, bro. I already made a promise that I'd let her stack donuts on it. And
Expression
I'm
of a
regretting it.
full stop.
I think we're in the wrong room, Neil, because this is politics 24/7. I can't seem to see the flat Earth bit in politics. So I think
Let me say.
see anything. I saw 24/7 and I've just clicked on it thinking that was flat Earth 24/7. It isn't though. In politics, UK politics. Dharma, Christian chat, Sharia chat, True Conversations, New Zealand and Australia, T-Girl Heaven, God Ain't Real, America's First, Men Are the Prize. Who Needs Enemies? Diversity is Strength, Christmas Friends, Censorship is Evil, Britain is the Best, Life and Expertise, English Pub, Black Lives Matter. I don't see a Flat Earth room anymore. Have they got rid of the Flat Earth room? Debate me about Israel.
Sometimes if there's no mods and there's nobody there, you won't see it.
Just go to a different room. Feed it back, me, Neil. Debate Flat Earth and more. Jenna server, worldwide debates.
Let's go back to Gems, debate Flat Earth and more.
You want to go to debate Flat Earth and more? I'll freaking find it now. Well, there's Earth Awakenings. There it is. You want to go in here?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing going on in here. Should we go to worldwide debates?
There's nobody in Gems?
There is, there's just no one talking.
No? No one's talking, huh?
You're gonna have to stop saying your stupid shit so Nathan can say his stupid shit.
Here we go. And we're off.
Okay, we're staying here.
Nathan, I can't talk, but you can. Explain why geodetic surveyors exist.
You guys are special.
Explain what, sorry? Why geodesic what? What was your question, sorry? I didn't quite hear it. I just said explain why geodesic and I didn't hear the end of it. One more time.
Geodesic. No.
Okay, good talk.
You never answer questions, Nathan, you see?
All surveying is flat. Non-locally, you can convert and suggest that you're doing something to do with a line over a curve.
Surveying.
But all surveying is with respect to a plane. All measurements.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Say again, sorry?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Earth's measured flat when we measure it. But we can extrapolate out conversions after the fact.
I wouldn't say it's measured flat, but the G081 system that's being used definitely does make it seem that way.
Because it is.
I mean, I don't pay too much attention to the systems that come after as derivatives. I just look at the measurements, like the initial actual Earth measurements from the surface.
It's not really a measurement per se. It's more like a system that's put in place for a guidance, like you can say, right? Right?
No, I mean the systems that we measure have been converted into sphericity, but the functionality of them still remains flat. So if you're going to use the actual
they're
survey
points.
data,
I would say they're points, but they're not flat points, right? They're so right. I mean, fair enough.
I was in the middle of answering, and you just started asking the same question in the middle of my answer. So maybe you're just a prick. You want me to answer again, or are you going to interrupt the middle of my answer again? I mean, what do you want from me? You asked me something, I started answering, and then you started talking through the middle of the answer. The same exact thing that I did. I was responding to the thing that you repeated through the top of me, by the way.
Sure. Come up with some new stuff, man. That's silly.
I didn't come up with anything. You asked me about what I thought about surveying. I said all the measurements are flat. If you convert them to a spherical system, then you can work from within a ball. Like I've got diagrammatically exampled. Again, middle of my sentence being interrupted by the start of yours because it's obviously intolerable for you to listen to an answer. Okay, you're obviously very triggered by my presence, my friend. You just talk to yourself a bit. Go ahead.
It'd be helpful to show you measurements we have a look at. That might be a bit clearer, do you think?
Here's groupie number 1.
Have you got them, Neil? You said you had some measurements the other day, but you never cleared it up.
That's what you are, right? You're groupie number 1. You're the number 1 Nathan Oakley groupie.
Who? No, that's you. That's you.
No, that's you, Edibert. You follow wherever Nathan is, you're there.
Jump in your shoes,
I'm on
Neil.
the panel.
I wouldn't jump in your shoes, Neil. You're an expert.
I'm on the panel.
You must have the measurement
of the greatest flat earth debate show ever. You're just a groupie.
Without the one without measurements.
The repeating of your guys' words is really annoying.
You'd think there would be some.
Yeah, measurements are annoying when you're a glober.
Measurements, wouldn't you? What are those, Neil?
Measurements.
Distance.
The original measurements. The globe is made from. Where are they?
Globe is a survey of points that are made as a system of reference. That's it. Fit upon the surface of which we reside upon. That's it. The closest thing that would be any flat of reference would be 0 to 180 in the grid system. That's about it. So I mean, really.
Yeah, welcome to flat earth.
What do you mean, welcome? What is that supposed to mean?
So you a glober?
Oh, for crying out loud! Where do these people come from?
Are you a glober? Whoever's talking?
I don't know. Do I sound like a glober?
I don't know. I'm just inquiring. I mean, you might not be.
I would know. I don't play to either side of that ping pong pit pat game, whatever you want to call it. I just don't do it.
Who's
not a game? It's a measurement.
I am yaw angle.
Okay, all right. So, okay, but I mean, do you believe in the globe? I mean, is that where your model is?
Do I believe in the globe? No, because what's so interesting about asking me that is that the globe.
Just after some clarification from your, I was looking for some clarification from your side of the fence.
I was trying to give it to you, but no, you shouldn't want to hear it.
Well, I mean, that's why I want to need to know if you were talking from a globe perspective.
I was trying to talk, but I wasn't able to finish. If you're looking for just...
Can I
you don't like it, huh?
So on the globe...
Answer yes, no, is that my only way of answering?
Well, on the globe, I mean, sea level for you is 0, is it not?
That would be mean sea level, and that's a point. That's the point of what? What point? That would be
mean sea level is not a point.
No. That's where you've got it wrong, sir. The sea level means sea level at 0 would be not above or not below.
Yeah. Okay. So 0 then. So on the globe you have a 0.
No. That's not correct. It's not above or not below.
Yeah, but you have a baseline, don't you?
That's right. I just explained it to you. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I'm just asking. The next thing is how you would represent that on an elevation profile or an XY coordinate system. How would you represent that 0?
G081.
I don't know what that is.
I know. Well, how about wait,
No,
what
it's
if I do
simple.
this way? I go this way. What
All
if I
right,
go?
it's okay. I don't think you can answer. Then you're obviously.
What about I can? I can't hear. How about this? How about 1800G? Does that help you out?
All right. So what would that look like on an elevation profile or a graph?
Okay, that would be you got the prime meridian, right? And you got the anti-prime meridian, right? So
I think we're on the same page.
Huh? No, I'm not on the same page. Maybe it's a grid system.
Right. So you've got your surface
Grid
level.
system is flat.
And you've got elevation. All right. Shut up, Neil. I'm not talking to you. That's not flat. We know it's not flat. It's obvious.
Tell me to shut up, you piece of shit.
On the globe, how would you represent the surface on a graph, an XY coordinate graph, or an elevation profile?
The coastline. Coastline. I'd use the coastline I guess if you want to go that route.
No, I said the coastline isn't a graph or a elevation profile, is it?
You're right. It's not. You said the surface.
No, that's what I was asking. That's what I was asking for. You don't seem to be able to answer it though.
I answered exactly what you asked me for.
Did you? You never once mentioned an elevation profile or a coordinate system?
Elevation. Yeah, that's right.
Elevation from what?
I'm just trying to point out that if you have an elevation profile with a baseline that represents zero, that is not exclusive to flat Earth or the globe.
Sea level.
Exactly.
It is exclusive.
I've already made that point. I've already made that clear.
Absolutely exclusive to a flat Earth. It's sea level. To describe perpendicular altitudes with respect to it has to be planar. That's what sea level is.
The audience think. It's not planar. It's just a line that represents zero.
No, there's certain points that are made in reference to places that are. It's all it is. This is the grid system. A point to get from one place to the other. Okay, that's it.
Are you okay?
Am I okay? Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah. All right. You understand what an elevation profile is then, or an XY coordinate system? You know, if you drew something on a graph on a piece of paper.
That's flat.
Yeah. And then I said to you G0081, and you said you didn't understand that. So I think that's where you drew the confusion.
What's the 0081?
0 to 180. Yeah, you got your ground, which you got. I mean, what 0 to 180 is a straight line.
You're talking about 180 degrees. So that's a straight line, right? Okay. So that's a straight line, but that represents the globe, right?
No. Globes are curved.
No, that's not. No,
I'm talking to you.
Well,
what does it represent?
Doesn't seem to understand the difference between a straight line and a curved line.
Line is a straight line.
Yeah, curved lines aren't straight. Straight lines aren't curved. You don't seem to know the difference between these two. They're in diametric opposition to each other. Having no part higher or lower than another versus being curved, they're fundamentally different to one another.
We're not talking about that.
I am. Earth's flat.
Represents.
Zero represents. Zero doesn't represent anything other than a boundary. Because all X, Y is zero. It all goes back to the boundary of zero, which is not above or not below.
Above or below sea level.
You're proving flat Earth with your zero basis?
Above and below are both with respect to a plane also. To be above or below something means you're talking about being with respect to a plane.
Where I live in and what the system that's been put in front of me, that's all.
Yeah, planar.
That's correct, Nathan.
Above and below a planar also. That's altitude.
No, it's
perpendicular to a plane.
No, it's not.
The XY is a single line. Doesn't have any curve if it's only got one axis. Elevation profiles are with respect to sea level.
Everything you've described,
everything that's just been described is just flat Earth measurements. Simple.
All right, without a tool, hang on, just talk to this Oakley guy. Without a tool, can you point me to the horizontal, please?
Sure, sea level.
That's not
eye level. I would say eye level.
Surface level.
That's a point on. No, that's not level either.
He said horizon. You said horizon. Did you not?
Horizon? That's not.
These are all
Hold
flat
on,
Earth
you
measurements as
asked
well.
me
by
for
the way.
horizon. Show you two horizon, and I said eye level, which would give you an angular, vanishing point. The
I said
perspective.
without a tool, where's the flat
My
Earth?
tools are the fucking eyes I have in my head, sir.
Eye
And those tools give me a
level is
perspective.
not that either. Well, eye
Yes,
level's
it
not
is.
that either, is it?
Yes, it is.
Let's
It's our
do level then. So we've got eye level, surface level, sea level. These are all flat Earth descriptions. All of them.
Your eyes.
That's
There's
right.
there's no horizontal reference system in your eyeball.
Absolutely is, because that's our perspective.
Yeah, that's not. You haven't got
because I'll tell you
horizontal
what, here,
reference in
hold
your
on.
eyeball.
I can explain this to you really easy. Watch. If an alien came down from outer space and he has a different perspective than I did, and he sees it different than I do, it doesn't matter what the fuck I see, does it?
Down is perpendicular to a plane. For the alien to come down, that's perpendicular to a plane.
Oh dear.
All through the lens of what you see through, right? All the lens of what you see through. Come on, man. There's no deer here. That's reality.
Listen. Look. Don't pull the Oakley's gambit, because it's pretty weak, right? It's a very weak position, Oakley's gambit.
Sea level.
Not. But through the lens of which you see, it's your perspective. Period.
No, your eyeballs are at just one point on the vertical data.
And why do they have the Mercator? Why do they have the spherical? Why do they have the flat? Why do they have different lensed maps?
Well, the map's not the territory. The map's not the territory.
Yeah, they measure the territory for the maps. It's all flat linear
come on, yeah,
distances.
exactly. You can't get away from that. That's just silliness.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
No,
You're wrong. You're wrong, Nathan.
I'm wrong. Okay, dude. Wow.
No, Nathan's wrong. You know, same when they measure the surface, they find elevation changes. The bit that's not
difference
flat.
between all maps is this. The difference between all maps is this. If it has a fucking grid on it, it's been measured. If it doesn't, it's art. Okay.
Well, that's done with the tool, though, isn't it?
Man, dude. I'm just saying. And really, that could fall to anyone here who has the perspective of which we see through with the lens of our eyes. And that's our
not
tool.
horizontal reference, is it? Perspective.
Yes, it is.
Is it really? Amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll give you a flat earth for that. End quote, conspiracy cats, when talking about perspective. He's a maths teacher, talking specifically about perspective.
It just is horizontal.
What tools would you need? What? No, you don't. No.
You don't need tools. Well, that's fine then. That's what I've been saying. Yeah, if the Earth's already horizontal, why do we need tools to establish horizontal reference then?
People build shit to build stuff.
Yeah, it's because the Earth isn't horizontal, isn't it?
Yeah, otherwise you couldn't fly parallel with it when you're describing altitudes, things like mountains. To fly over being a description with respect to a plane, then you'd need to measure the plane to describe flying over the plane. So you measure the heights of the altitudes of the, I don't know, mountains and hills and valleys so that you can fly over them. Over being planar, altitude being planar. It's all planar.
The mountains aren't flat though, are they?
No, but the altitude is with respect to sea level, perpendicular to it. So to describe flying over the mountain and how slopey the mountain is, same thing. You're describing how slopey the mountain is with respect to a plane when you measure it from surface level.
Correct. I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if we argue about this. In sincerity, like us debating, there's no debate. Sea level's measured. Us talking about it makes no difference to how flat Earth gets measured. Earth just gets measured flat regardless of whether numpties talk about it on Discord or not. That's just how Earth gets measured. Azimuth, distance, surface level, sea level, altitudes for a plane to fly over, the altitude that's been measured from sea level. They're all flat measurements.
No, it isn't. No, it's not.
That's a fantastic rebuttal. No, it's not. Yeah. Flight level is with respect to surface level, and they do measure the altitudes of mountains so that the planes don't smash into them.
You don't have to measure. You don't need any tools, man. You got your eyes in your head. That's what you were given. Period.
Again, Yoda said I was correct the other day. You didn't like it. You did say I was correct about the NTSB data.
I couldn't give a crap.
Hey, man. Hey, check it out. You don't stand on your head to take measurements, do you?
About this elevation profile with zero again. You got angry and told him to shut up, and he had to shut up.
Yaw is planar. When you describe yaw, you're talking about vertical axes
Yeah,
to move
that's
in the left and right.
Centered north, and you have to be a heading of north to get your yaw.
That's correct.
eagle.
Yaw is a flat Earth
Nathan
measurement.
said.
It's a flat Earth measurement.
Nathan said you can get to the 90 at Polaris with a compass.
What? 90 of
You
Polaris.
can get
You
to
don't
the
need a
90 GP of Polaris with a compass. That's how you have an equator.
Compass?
Yeah, GP's planar as well.
You don't need any Polaris for a compass, you bonehead.
Meanwhile, GP of anything is on a flat plane. The ground position is 90 degrees to your position. So to have any GP ever requires Earth be measured planar to describe a GP at 90 degrees to your position when measuring any GP ever and without exception. All GPs are flat Earth measurements.
Cool, man.
But you did say the other day, Nathan, you can get to that 90 at Polaris with a compass.
Okay, you don't need a 90 with the compass.
So 90 then.
Is an elevation angle 2 lines or 3 lines? I'm just curious. If anybody knows.
Two. One is 90
refracted.
to the...
Can you get refracted? Can you get to the GP of Polaris with a compass?
GPs are flat. GPs are flat.
That's funny, dude.
On screen now is the line perpendicular to the plane with 90 degrees to your position, with the shadow angle being described with respect to a plane. 90 requires a plane. For it to be 90 to you means you're describing the measurement as planar. GPs are planar.
Do
you have any verifiable data for that, please?
10 and 10 is what that means.
What a GP is. Just what a GP is.
You have no verifiable data for that
don't
90,
accept it,
do you?
Okay, so reject it.
Is the
That's
radii,
Let me just
first
address
of all.
Elder Bear, you angle. One sec. Just reject it then. You don't have to accept what a GP is. I don't give a crap if you reject it. Okay, you don't accept it. No worries. It's still a flat measurement.
I don't accept it. I don't accept you.
Okay, Elder Bear's a complete nobody. Whether or not he accepts this is irrelevant. It's still a flat Earth measurement as described on screen with 90 degrees to your position. That's just what a GP is. Elder Bear saying, I don't accept that a GP is 90 degrees. I don't give a crap what you accept. You're a nobody.
Geometry.
Can you explain then? Shut up, your angle. Can you explain how you get to the GP of Polaris with a compass? I'm waiting. Go.
Your guys' tools, man.
GPs are flat measurements. 90 degrees to your position is what a GP is. So you're asking me about a flat measurement of flat Earth?
No, I'm not.
That's what GP is.
There has been a claim that someone has traveled to the 90-degree GP of Polaris, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a flat Earth measurement. What are you talking about?
Exactly. It's a flat Earth measurement. 90 degrees to your position is a flat Earth measurement by prerequisite. It doesn't matter if I've travelled to a particular GP or not. Who cares?
You wouldn't be like, hey, bro. Those two don't go together. Those are entirely two different fucking apparatuses, by the way. So stop doing that.
Can you explain, please? Please tell me how you get to GP of Polaris with a compass. Go.
You can do it again.
GP's a flat measurement, though. Whether or not I can do this is irrelevant of the flat Earth. 4 words in and the best triggered already. Hilarious. Meanwhile, GPs are a flat Earth measurement, so who cares if I can do this or not?
You don't have any verifiable data for it.
You win. I don't have any verifiable data for the GP of Polaris. GPs are still a flat Earth measurement, though.
So how do you get to the GP?
I've said it. I don't know how to. Right? Does that mean you win? Does that mean GPs aren't a flat Earth measurement just because I say I can't do this or haven't done this? Doesn't make any difference to what a GP is. It's 90 degrees to your position along a planar surface. So it's irrelevant whether or not I can do it. This is a glorified ad hominem. Makes no difference whether or not I can do this.
No, it's not a glorified ad hominem.
Yeah,
it's a quote from you. You made it. You said that clearly the other day. Shut up your angle. Be quiet a minute.
How triggered are you? I've only been here 5 minutes. My God.
It's with a compass. Verify it.
Compass is flat also. Azimuth is the measurement that compass or for.
You can't, can you?
Well, you're just going to champ. Compasses are flat also. You're describing this tool that measures Earth flat. For azimuth, that's degrees in the horizontal from north.
We're talking about your claim that you can get to the GP of Polaris with a compass, not all this.
Yeah, so GPs are flat, compasses are flat, azimuth is flat, north is flat. Everything you've asked me about requires Earth be measured flat.
No, it doesn't at all.
Azimuth is a horizontal degree from north. GP is 90 degrees to your position along a planar surface. The coordinates that you've been discussing on grids, they're Cartesian.
Hey, you guys. Hey, first of all, Polaris is
So far,
centered
you
north
haven't-
and above.
So far, you haven't verified
you would need
anything
a
that I've
compass.
asked you.
Holy
you
shit!
claimed. No verifiable data for any of your claims that I've asked for to use for you to substantiate.
He didn't make any claims just then, did he?
No, I just described what
I mean, he
azimuth
did
was.
the other day. I've got the recording. He said you can get to the GP of Polaris with a compass. I'm
Why don't
asking
you deal
how.
with what he just said before we deal with your crap?
Okay.
Well, that's not my crap. It's Nathan's crap we're asking about.
Okay. What do you want me to say? I've never been to the North Pole. Yeah, that's right. I've never been to the GP, a flat Earth only concept that's 90 degrees along a planar surface. So asking me about it doesn't change that it's a flat Earth measurement you're asking about. Whether or not I've been there is irrelevant.
Well, there is, because you have no verifiable data.
Okay, I've got no verifiable data that Polaris is underneath the northern magnetic point that you'd use from a compass. But azimuth, the concept of directionality itself, to travel in a direction that's north, is flat, as is a GP.
No, it's centered north and above 90. That's what
That's wrong, mate. You're just wrong. If you're at the equator or beyond it, you can't even see Polaris, or it would be on the horizon. That's not above anything. You're just wrong. Can you stop yakking through this conversation? You don't know what you're talking about, your angle. You're just incorrect.
I do.
Really? So if you're on the equator, Polaris is above, is it? What's it above again?
Dude. Then what is south?
Why are you asking me? South is a flat direction. You've just said that Polaris is above something. Number one, above is a flat Earth concept. Number two, if you're at the equator, that would be the minimum. It's not above anything. It's on the horizon then.
Yeah, that's where you stood with your compass. That's where you said you had the compass at the equator, and you said you can go to the GP of Polaris with a compass from the equator.
Oh, so now we've got the equator. So we'll take Edda Bear's equator that he's just claimed. That's a flat Earth measurement also. Polaris minimum. That's the elevation angle reducing with respect to a planar surface with the angle 90 degrees to the base of that star. Another flat measurement and derived concept. Edda Bear's appealing to this equator that's now Edda Bear's claim of the equator. I didn't mention it. Edda Bear definitely brought it up. But that's a flat Earth measurement also, the equator. Yeah, we measure Earth flat for the equator. We measure Earth flat for GPs. We measure Earth flat for azimuth. We measure Earth flat for direction.
Yeah, I heard that. But you have to be centered north to get east or west, sir.
Are you listening? The Oakley's gambit. That's what he's doing right now.
You said you had to be centered north to get east or west. He's never going to rationalize that. And they're going to prove it wrong.
Yeah, because
East
we got
and west are
polars,
flat
as you
directions.
said, which is that's your altitude. Because how else are you going to get an altitude?
North
It's
and
above
south are
90 above
altitude.
is Polaris
It's just wrong.
zenith.
North and south are not altitude. He's confusing azimuth with altitude.
What an idiot.
No, wrong. Then
Azimuth and altitude are two different things. Elevations, that's up and down, that's altitude. Azimuth, that's degrees in the horizontal from north. Azimuth isn't altitude. The two things are completely incongruent. One is horizontal, that's azimuth. The other is vertical, that's altitude. They're not the same thing.
oh yeah, no shit, that's above, right? So what's a G? What the flight system is a G0081.
Are you talking about your 180 degree from surface level again, like a protractor?
From the surface level? No, I'm talking about a flight system.
So when in flight level parallel with surface level at a measured altitude from sea level, those are all flat Earth measurements also.
It's always centered north in flight system.
North's a flat Earth measurement. It's a horizontal azimuthal
Is it
description.
really?
Yeah, azimuth is
So is
horizontal.
it plane, or do you have to fly through areas in your third dimensional surface? Can you imagine flying in a straight line and running into something, or how would you go ahead and calibrate that system?
A y-axis changes whether the x and z axis are straight.
No, they are definitely. You couldn't not be straight, or they couldn't calculate a descent path with respect to a linear distance. Descent is altitude with respect to distance when you calculate it from a flight level, and descend to land. That's a calculation with respect to a flat plane with flat linear distances being measured and utilised for a descent. It's flat. Earth's flat for these.
It's the boundary.
What's a boundary? Descent path's a boundary. That's just complete bollocks as a response.
Zero. No, it's not. 0 to 180, 180 to 0 is your boundary. There's no more or no less.
Okay.
That's flat.
That's flat, exactly.
That is a straight line.
Yes, flat, straight, whatever you want to use as the
point.
descriptive word. When you're measuring Earth for flights, Flight level is parallel with surface level, measured in
Okay,
altitude from sea level.
what is it flat to then? What is 0 to 180 flat to across the world?
Stop
It's like a
talking
degree.
over him, man.
I've actually got it on
Well, I
screen.
mean, he says the same thing over and over, though.
Okay, my bad, sorry. In terms of the degree measurement, though,
Yeah,
I've got
he
it
does that.
In terms of the degree measurement, I've got it up on screen. So if you're going to describe things like degrees with respect to a system that's called azimuth and altitude, then you can have degrees like the degrees of a protractor wrapped around your position. You can even describe that as being... You can even okay, my bad.
0 to 180, what is that reference?
I was in the middle of explaining it
system?
while you asked the same question through the answer. I was describing. I actually have a diagrammatical example on screen for my audience while I describe. I mean, you can't just chat skank through me, but I can just talk to my audience with him just talking in Discord rumpusing. So rumpusing can't make the Discord here, but I can just describe the answer to his question without him continually interrupting it with the same question in the middle of the answer. Like on screen now, diagrammatically exampled with the degrees 0 to 180 wrapped around you. It would infer that you were in the middle of a ball to do this, though. I mean, obviously nobody's inside a ball to describe 0 to 180 as a diagrammatical example on screen for my audience demonstrates. That's planar. Earth's flat for this. So, in conclusion, to describe the degrees from surface level wrapped around you like a glorified protractor would require a flat plane.
Yeah, okay, let me finish real quick. That is your boundary line. 0 to 180 is a straight line. Yes, you're correct. But on the system of the GPS is your positional vectors of where your position is. Okay, that's not necessarily meaning it's flat.
I don't understand how GPS works. GPS works on a floating planar coordinate system. You don't know what you're talking about.
Coordinates themselves are measured with respect to a plane. The degrees, the coordinates.
Okay, what is the R reference?
The degrees themselves, the degrees for the coordinate system, they're also measured flat. The degrees themselves.
He said because he thinks because I said planar that the R is in reference to something. It's planar.
Yeah, the R does reference something because the plane is actually separate from the R, dude.
No, it's not.
What's a planar? What's a planar? What do you mean? A tool that I use out of the shop?
The grid. It's Cartesian.
No. Yeah, it's a Cartesian coordinate system. It's planar.
GPS is flat.
Really?
Yes. Outside the coordinates. Funny. Yes, the coordinates that you measure are with respect to a plane. They're angles. And the grid that it's used on is planar. It's Cartesian grid. GPS is planar. It's a flat Earth description. A flat system, Cartesian in nature. That's what it is.
The R means the R. Is the radii. That stands for the radii. The radius.
It's part of the word. It doesn't stand for radius.
It sure does. That means cosine.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard all day.
Dumb?
Hilarious.
I'm dumb now?
Well, you're using flat Earth coordinates. If you're using GPS, they've got coordinate data that's measured off a plane. You just think that by chat skanking through the top of every response, you get that's you winning. Yeah, we've seen it all before. Just chatting through the conclusion, like now, like this, doesn't change the conclusion. You just chat skanking.
Area,
chat skanking, my friend. You're causing audio chaos because you don't like the conclusion, so you start talking before the end of the conclusion comes. Yes, the coordinates are planar measurements. This is the third attempt to say the same thing. As described on screen.
Circular. Circular does not mean that the R at the end of circular is a radius. That's you just making shit up, dude.
Who said anything about circular?
Just like circular and planar having an R at the end, that does not mean that's for radius. Y'all are retarded.
It means radius. Absolutely.
No, the degrees that you're measuring are with respect to a planar surface. You're measuring degrees, right? That's what the coordinates are. They've got a little circle after them. They're degrees.
That's your vector point. That's your rebound in the grid system. And in the flight system, G0081.
All vector systems require a planar system. It does not matter. The moment you appeal to vectors, you're appealing to straight lines, not curves.
What's it? Okay, fine. I agree with that, but you're trying to reference something else of which
then
it's
there is
not
no
what
argument.
It was what it
if
meant.
you agree to that, you are done. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Okay, look. It is a reference point system. That's it.
Same goes for yaw. If you describe yaw, you're describing a planar change in the plane's orientation.
Yeah. Planar. Is that even a word?
Planar? Yeah, as in with respect to a plane.
Okay. So referencing the plane.
Yeah. When you
Not
an aeroplane,
conversation.
but if you do
He
reference,
should not be in it.
But if you do reference an aeroplane, like for yaw, then again you're describing it within a Cartesian system, a flat system that describes an axis to turn around. That's what yaw is. It's a planar description.
I would like to argue that no, that's not fully correct because you are in a third dimensional spacing, which is correct. That is actually explaining your position and your orientation, which would be centered north, heading north, which gives you your yaw angle.
Yeah, so north is a horizontal. That's a horizontal degree, though, isn't it? When you say north and anything with respect to north, it's a degree in the horizontal only. Directions are planar, they're horizontal. That's what azimuth is. So if you're describing yaw, you're rotating about. Oh my God, is it every sentence that you're going to interrupt? Am I really that triggering to you? You win. Talking through the end of my sentence means you win. You win. You win. You win. Talking through me means you win. Well done. You win.
Huh?
So talking through the end of every single conclusion that I've delivered so far means you win.
Not true. Not true. Stop, man. I'm being respectful here, honestly. I'm not even trying to do all that, so please stop.
I got my angle. Don't do this shit.
What? No, but how do you get altitude then, right? Or how do you get below sea level? How do you think a submarine gets around? How do you...
Okay, so altitude is
a plane of reference.
From sea level, end quote you. Sea level is a planar surface to describe altitude with respect to, perpendicular to a plane. Sea level being the overall master reference that heights, in every single example ever recorded or measured ever with respect to Earth's surface, were detailed to. Sea level, perpendicular, right. That's altitude.
Okay, perpendicular, gotcha. So that would be your zenith above you, or your zenith above, right?
Yeah, zenith is also with respect to a plane. Zenith, yeah, that's 90 degrees to a plane. Zenith is also a flat Earth measurement.
How do you get your 90? No, okay. I hear you. The only way you get 90 degrees is from 0 to 90, which would be straight above.
Yeah, with respect to a plane, 90 degrees to a plane is what zenith is. So when you say zenith, that is instantaneously a flat Earth only measurement. That's what zenith is.
Listen, I was almost done. In between your zenith 90 pointing straight above your head and your east 90, your east.
Oh my God, you stuttery twat. Yeah, east is a flat Earth direction in the horizontal, and zenith is a 90 with respect to a plane.
In between from 0 to 90 would be your angle.
Yeah, off a plane. 0 being the planar surface zenith is perpendicular with respect to when you describe 90. You've got a plane to describe zenith. Then when you say east, that's a horizontal orientation. It's all for everything you describe. My God, just rumpus the conclusion. Every single description of every measurement you've detailed is a flat Earth only measurement.
How are you?
Let the black
if I may get back to your 0 to 180.
Let's go.
When you divide your 0 to 180, you get 90, which would be your zenith above, Mr. Nate.
Above a flat Earth.
Nate. 90 plus 90 is 180.
Reference is flat.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
For 90, you need 0.
Can I just point... Sorry, Nathan, could I just point out that when you've been tweaking your desk, you tweaked it to such a point that your panels don't come through now? Only you. I know you want to be dominant. Now your panel aren't coming through your
Shut up, Better Bear.
Oh, well.
That's true. I'm just telling the truth. Nathan doesn't like bad audio.
I would rather Nathan
he can't hear John talking properly.
Everybody else.
Don't worry about it. I wouldn't concern yourself. When you've got a show like mine, then you can worry about your audio on your show. Don't worry about mine.
I wouldn't
exactly at a bear.
I had a show like yours. Jesus, man. Falling off a cliff.
That's funny.
If you were falling off a cliff, the cliff's altitude would be measured from sea level, though, wouldn't it? Perpendicular to a plane.
No.
That's correct.
Any updates on the any
Turn
updates
yourself
on
the
the
audio.
any updates on the book? Any
Yeah,
updates on the book?
Yes, there were.
Any updates on the book?
Yes, that's what I spent the last 2 days
Yeah, go
doing,
on.
actually.
Let's have a book update.
Yes, last couple of days were spent with my publisher. Just got a couple more things to do. One is a legal document that I need to sign, and the other is a accounting document or giving bank info, and that's about it. I just literally yesterday authorised the final version. I can't keep going through it looking for minor errors with commas with the gap before them and things like that. So I've got to eventually pull the trigger and go, no, I'm not going to go through it continuously trying to find minor errors. If there's minor errors in it, they can be adjusted on the fly after the fact. At some point, I've just got to accept that I don't have a proofreader. From that perspective, there might be some commas in the right place.
You can't read.
That's just the way it
What
goes.
about Neil? What about Neil? Can't he
read, or
proofread
you
it
don't
for
have
you?
a spell checker on your computer.
Yes, it's been through spell checker.
Got you. Well, you can't read. You need a proofreader. Is that what you're saying? You went to a higher education.
You could say that. I mean, I
You
am
didn't say you couldn't read, man.
reasonably
Can't
well
proofread.
educated.
He said he
I
can't
can read.
proofread.
Yeah, I've read through it several times.
He needs a proofreader. Is that laziness? You just
Proofreading and reading the same thing, Elder Bear. You think proofreading and reading are the same thing?
They're not, but there we go.
Well, he's not even an author. Anyway, QE's got a whole list. QE's got a list of things that he's already drawn up for the fallacies and the problems in your book. So it's going to be amusing. See him go at you.
Excellent.
QE's got fallacies. Oh wow!
So he's got a
That's
list
all
of
he's
the
got, 'cause he
fallacies
got
that
no flat
Nathan's
earth
got in
proof.
his book already. Haven't you seen?
Oh, you haven't seen my book yet,
Oh,
so
man.
you don't know what's in it. How would you know?
Yeah, but he's heard you talk. He's told you talk about what's in your book.
Oh, has he really? What, when he stole it from me?
Yeah.
Is he paying attention? Is he paying close attention? Is he paying real close attention? Is he staring?
No, but Edda Bear is.
If he stole it from you, then why are you publishing it again? That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, very. That's how life
How
goes
come?
sometimes.
What interests me is that
Sometimes
how
Yeah.
friends
So
betray
why are you publishing it
And
again?
you still asking when I'm in the middle of answering you. Yeah, sometimes your friends betray you. That's just how it goes.
So why are
Yeah,
you
but you had
publishing
a
it
book.
if it's the same book?
It won't be,
Because
obviously.
he can.
Obviously, it won't be the same book.
Where is the original book then, Nathan?
Oh,
Well, I'm
There's
glad
only
you're all
ever
very
been one
concerned
book.
about it. When it
They
comes out,
stole
I
a draft and published it.
hope you all buy a copy.
Well, you narrated it. You narrated it to somebody, and then you gave it to Adam and Brian to proofread. See what they thought about it.
annoying about ladders and the Glovers. You guys
QE
take
said-
turns being haters. It's just ridiculous.
Hang on.
I don't mind. I
QE
don't mind at
said
all.
that he said, how come you've got a copy to Brian and Adam, and he wanted a copy. So he got a copy of your book and read it, said it was bullshit and it needed rewriting. And now since then, you said you don't have a copy of that book.
That isn't what
The only
happened.
copy of that original book you wrote,
That is not
QE's
what
got it.
happened. You're making
Why
stuff
haven't you
up,
got
and
a
you
copy of
weren't
the
even
original
there.
book?
You weren't even there, and you're making stuff up.
I'm just telling
Well,
the story
I'm
as it's
really
been told.
appreciative of the concern, Ed Bear. Thanks. Hopefully you'll buy a copy when it comes out in
Yeah.
the next few days.
No, absolutely not. Where is the original? Why has QE got your original book and you don't have it?
Come on, dude.
Did you say 3 days? 3 more days and it comes out?
Yeah, I would hope it's in the next few days. Like I say, I've...
No, another 2 weeks. About
My
2
bad,
weeks.
Ed Bear will answer
You just
ask
said
Ed
3
Bear.
days.
Ed Bear will
So
answer
is
you.
that a lie? Or is it going to be in
Maybe
3
Ed Bear will
days?
answer you. Maybe you could keep answering before me, Ed Bear. Go ahead.
Which is
3
normal
days.
answer, 2 weeks.
Keep saying it. I could answer, or maybe Ed Bear could answer for me.
Sounds
Ed
like you're
Bear.
promoting for him.
I'll
dude.
refer you to my secretary. Ed Bear, you take this from here.
Oh, wow. Well, that's your usual answer, 2 weeks. It's just the usual thing, isn't it?
No.
Yeah,
I approved the final version yesterday.
Well, you say that. We only got your word to say
Oh,
that.
come on, man. Just chill, dude. What the fuck? Wow.
No, you asked me, and I'm telling you, you don't have to like my answers. If you say I'm lying about it, fine.
No, I don't have to believe
take
your
my word
answer.
for it, I
That's
don't care.
fine. No, I can hear you. I don't have to believe it
No,
necessarily.
you
do
don't.
I?
That's right. You don't have to
Just
believe
because you
anything.
say
That's
something.
correct.
No,
That's
exactly.
correct.
There you go.
All right, turn the page,
You
man.
Yeah,
don't
put it
have
when
to
it actually
believe the
appears,
things
and we'll
you
see, won't
accept
we?
as fact. You've shown that today as well.
You don't have to believe azimuth is
Hey, I was
horizontal or
waiting with his
distances are
red pen.
linear. You don't have to believe
QE's
altitudes are perpendicular to a plane or that flight levels are with respect to sea level. You don't have to believe that we've measured the mountain's height for the plane to fly over. You don't have to believe any of this stuff, Ed Bear. You're not the arbiter of any of it, so it doesn't really
I
matter.
don't. I don't. That's why I question you about it.
Good.
And you don't have an
As
answer.
you should.
You
Absolutely.
it all the time.
That is the right thing to do, to question the people around you who assert things like parallel flight level, surface level, sea level, altitude from sea level, altitude angles, azimuth, directionality. Question all of it. It's all flat, but you can question it. That's up to you.
Wow.
Except you don't have any evidence for it, do you?
I don't need azimuth evidence. Azimuth is what it is. Elevations are perpendicular to sea level. Saying I've got to prove elevations doesn't change what an elevation is. An elevation is just a measurement perpendicular to a plane of reference called sea level.
That's called a parallelogram.
When anybody asks you about your claims, you just say, I'm a YouTuber.
I'm a YouTuber. Why would you be asking me this when altitudes are perpendicular to sea level and every single measurement ever described as an altitude is described from sea level, regardless of whether or not I point it out? Who cares if I point it out? He is right. Ed Bear's correct. I am utterly inconsequential to this, as are you. You have no bearing on any of this stuff. Neither do I.
Yeah.
It's just flat measurements.
It's an assertion collapse, Nathan.
Actually,
that's what it is.
Say that. No, it's not flat measurement. When you say perpendicular, definition of perpendicular is 90 degrees. Right, literally.
Yeah, like zenith. Same as zenith. When you describe zenith, that's with respect to a plane.
That's nice. Dude, come on, man.
Planes are flat.
The plane is 0 to 180. Divide 180, you get 90. In between those, you get your 90. East-west.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Azimuth is horizontal. East and west is horizontal. 180 to 0, as you've described it, with 90 in between. That's zenith. Is a flat planar description. That's right.
Damn. All right. Great. Love it.
Yeah, so Earth's measured flat. With every single measurement
that's not measured
ever made.
flat.
I mean, you can just say that.
The thing is,
you can believe that if you want
It's not, though. It's a parallelogram.
A parallelogram.
That's
parallelogram. Are you high?
The thing is, if you had your original book, right? If you had the original book, you wouldn't have had to go through the old all the videos to try and pull the book out of there. If you already had your original, would you?
Did you say high? Height is a measurement with respect to a plane. How high you are.
Oh, well, he ain't low. Maybe he can think he's north.
Is he north? How north are you? How much have you smoked? How north are you? North's
90
horizontal.
degrees.
North's horizontal, though.
90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. 360. That's right. 90 plus 90, 90, 90. Square and circle. The only difference is the outer line.
Yeah, 90 is with respect to a plane, though.
90 is respect to a diameter.
No, not at all.
No,
it's not.
Radius, sorry, a radii.
If you're describing it with a radii, like on this diagram on screen now, right? If you're describing it 90 degrees for the equator, for the sake of argument, with respect to the North Pole, that's still planar, as diagrammatically exampled on screen, where it says the word parallel, equator, North Pole, and there's a little square. I'll point to it for my audience. This little box is 90. With respect to a planar surface, in this instance labelled equator, that's a 90.
Does it say great circle route? Does it say great circle route still or no?
It doesn't, you guys. 0 to 180 is the equator. Your 90 is the diameter by 2 radii.
90 degrees is 2 straight lines meeting at a vertex. Has nothing to do with the circle.
Correct.
You're high.
Yeah, exactly. On screen now. You can derive a circle from it, like a great circle. That's a derivative value, though. That's derivative, not measured. The planar measurement is the 90. That's measured.
Horizontal is derivative. Horizontal level is derivative from horizontal.
You guys are doing geometry here. You're not measuring circles.
Level is how we experience horizontal. Horizontal is a concept we use to describe level.
Nope, incorrect.
0 to 180, so diameter.
Can I just one second, John? Just for Ed Bear's sake, I think you must have a shitty connection, Ed Bear. Wesley heard John, no worries to disagree with him. I think it just must be your cheap internet connection. You must be poor and have a crap internet connection because he heard him just fine.
Says the e-beggar.
Sorry, Wesley's now chat skanking about me being an e-beggar. Sorry, should we call out Gem's super chats? Should we do that? Should we do that for Gem? Gem the e-beggar?
I don't have to e-beg.
What, like Gem does?
I've got a job. Got a
Gem,
job.
Whataboutism? What about Nathan? What about the beggar?
What, Gem the e-beggar? Yeah, we heard all about Gem super chats that he was putting his little plate out for in previous shows. Gem's definitely an e-beggar. Gem Panda.
What about you, Nathan? What about you, Nathan? Are you an e-beggar, Nathan?
Oh, me and Gem together. Yeah, we've both got our cups out in front of us, e-begging, Gem and I, shoulder to shoulder, the host of this server.
I'm glad you admitted it.
Yeah, I've always admitted. That's what I do for a living. I've paid the mortgage 10 years by e-begging. So what?
Yeah, why are you guys such haters? I don't get it. Can you guys talk about anything else?
Yeah, exactly. 90 degrees to a plane won't
It's
change.
so ridiculous. It really gets old, man.
Exactly. It doesn't change any difference to 90 being with respect to a plane, whether or not I e-beg for a living.
Respect to the plane of what?
Earth's surface. If
The
you're 90
center?
degrees to it, then the degree is with respect to Earth's planar. My God, if you just ask and then keep chat skanking through the top of the answer, maybe the answer won't be devastating and flat Earth in orientation. It is. It's the surface level that you're 90 degrees to.
Mumbling all day long. I'm going to be sure
You're not doing it at
chat
all.
skanking, Rob. I don't know,
we
Rob.
what?
Are you the mod today, Rob? I don't think anybody respects you, mod Rob.
I'm at work, man, but I'm listening. I can still mute people. This guy constantly does this. Yargo, stop it. Don't do this today.
You what? I haven't interrupted at all, you weirdo.
I've called you out on it.
You have not stopped mumbling in the background like you always do every day here. All right, motherfucker.
Here, bro. Start at.
Awesome spurging already. I've only been here 10 minutes. They're all going nuts already. Excellent.
Hey, Nathan, are the circles of equal elevation, are those imaginary or are they tangible and physical?
Circles of equal altitude. You're talking about flat Earth prerequisite areas that have no altitude deviation whatsoever, therefore flat. Those circles of equal altitude.
Can you answer the question or no?
I'm clarifying. Do you mean the flat Earth only areas that are circles that have no deviation in altitude? That is to say, flat Earth only areas of equal altitude. Is that what you're asking about?
No, I'm asking about the ones that you put on your screen saying circles of equal elevation. Are those tangible and physical?
No, they're derived, calculated, if you will, from radial values that are straight with respect to Earth's planar surface that you derive a radial value from. So in this case, to derive a radial value to give you a circle of equal elevation, you first measure an angle from the surface level, minus that measured angle off a flat Earth from 90, times it by 60 to give you a radial value. That can then give you a circle of equal altitude. Hope that answers your question.
Are those physical? Are those physical and tangible?
Why male models? I literally just answered you 10 seconds ago. You're like Zoolander. You're like Zoolander, where even though I've delivered an answer to you, you ask the same question like it hasn't been answered, denoting how stupid you are.
No, you did not answer the question.
Okay.
You said how they were measured. You did not say if they were physical
That's right.
or imaginary.
I didn't describe minusing from 90 and timesing by 60 the measured flat Earth angle to infer an area of equal elevation after derivative radial extraction from flat Earth measurement. I didn't say that. This isn't me repeating it in a slightly different way. Why male models?
I'll do it for the 7th time. Is it tangible or physical, or is it imaginary, the circles of equal elevation?
I answered you. It's calculated from a radial value that's extracted from flat Earth measurement of angle. That's the third, not 7th.
Answer.
That's the third time, not 7th.
Notice
Not
panel,
7th. You can't count. My bad. No, that's not the 7th time. You can't count. My bad. You can't count. That's the 3rd time I can count.
Wrong.
Oh, right. Oh, my bad. I missed 4 of the other repetitions. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Can't even count.
You're asking him a question. You don't get to dictate how he answers it. Just let him answer.
I know he can't answer it. I just want everybody to notice he can't answer if they're physical or not.
I did. I said it's calculated. My answer for the 4th time, it's a calculated value based on extracting a radial value by measuring an angle from a flat plane. That's a flat Earth measurement of elevation angle. Once you have that measured flat Earth value, you can minus that measured flat Earth value from 90 and times that value by 60. That gives you a radius. Radius being directly tied to circles, the ones you asked about, that you'll calculate based on this radius you've extracted from a flat Earth measurement of angle. That is the 4th time I've answered you. Why male models?
Are they physical? Are they physical and tangible?
No, they're calculated with respect to a planar surface.
Perfect.
My God, I'm
Great.
answering him for the
Now-
fifth time, and he's just
now
chat skanking
is-
through my answer. You just chat skanking through my answer, my friend. No, calculated
Nope, I heard
values
you. That's all.
derived
I
from.
wanted a yes or
oh
no.
my
You
God!
gave me-
Oh
you
my
gave me the
God!
no.
Triggered, totally triggered. I'm done with you. Talk to yourself.
No, you're the one yelling. It's
I'm not
very
yelling.
easy.
You're just talking through me.
No, you're yelling.
Meanwhile,
okay, so great. So
circles of
where
equal altitude
is
are planar. They're only going to work on a flat Earth. They only work with flat Earth angles. They only work with flat linear distance values ascribed to radius values. It's as a flat Earth prerequisite description in every single regard. Earth's measured flat for circles of equal altitude. Calculated. Not real. Like there's no real equator. You guys take this system, this extracted value, and create a circle of equal altitude called the equator. Now, that doesn't mean there's a line on the ground with the word equator written on it. No, it's just conceptual. But you still have to measure Earth flat to derive this concept.
Okay, where's the original flat surface that you take it from?
The elevation angle. What's the one you're standing on when you measure the angle?
So does it have to be flat? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's the 0 degree that forms the baseline, meeting the GP, that's ground position of the star. The line along the surface is part of the angle that you measure to minus from 90 and times by 60, the value that gives you a radial value to give you a circle that's calculated into existence, to answer your question for the 6th time.
Okay, so where is that on the surface of the Earth? Where is that straight flat line
The
from
radius
you to
between-
the GP? Where is that?
I heard you the first 2 times. It's between you and the GP of the star. A GP is the point, but a GP
There
is the
are
a GP is the point
mountains,
below.
there are hills in
oh
the
my
way.
God!
So
Oh
go
my
ahead.
God!
Try it again.
Yeah,
Try again.
Try again through the top of you
Where are
talking.
they?
Try again through the top of you talking through the answer. Maybe that means you win if you talk through the
Yeah, you're
answer.
stuttering. You're a stuttering fool.
No, I'm
You
not.
keep
Just
making fun of
just
yourself.
talking
So
through the answer.
Go ahead.
I was till you talked
Go
through the
ahead.
answer. Now I'm done with you because you're a wanker.
Run,
Well, this
Nathan,
moron
run.
doesn't understand the idea of topography as the overall Earth's surface. Because that's what you're
I agree
talking
with
about.
you.
When you're talking
I
about an
agree with you.
elevation angle. You're
So
talking
where
about the
is that-
overall
where is
Earth's
that
Now he's
surface
talking to
of the
you.
Earth?
Now he's talking to you,
Just as
John. Maybe he'll declare the victory after he chat
Yeah,
skanks
because
through the
his
top of
mic
you
is
middle of
crap.
you.
Elder,
You're just
Elder
chat
is right. You
skanking
can
through
barely
everybody,
hear
my
him.
friend. My
So
friend,
where on the
you're an
surface of the
intolerant
Earth is
person.
this?
Okay, Rob Noxious, we can't talk to this guy. Every time we respond to him, he just talks through us. Don't know what to do, Rob. What do you want me to do? You're the moderator here. Are you useless as a mod? What's going on?
Okay, so take it easy on me, man. I'm at work. I'm trying my hardest, Nathan, so chill out.
Okay, I'll try and respond to him again. The area of equal elevation has nothing to do with topographical deviations because it's a planar description derived from an angle. If you're describing topographical deviations, then you're describing vertical deviation from a horizontal plane of reference also. Oh my God, I'm getting chat skanked again. He's brought up topographical deviations. I'm addressing that red herring that has nothing to do with areas of equal elevation that he asked about. Meanwhile, topographical deviations are described from surface level, that's sea level measurements, to give every single vertical description ever made or measured. So Earth is also flat for topographical deviations, that's hills and valleys. Meanwhile, if you're deriving a circle of equal altitude, you're measuring from your position on the ground to a ground position, that's the point below a star, and that line forms part of the angle, flat and horizontal. It must be horizontal, it's an altitude angle. That's the line in the horizontal with respect to the line in the vertical. The line in the horizontal being between you and the GP along the surface. That's what an altitude angle is. That's where you'll get your circle of equal elevation, 8th time. When you minus from 90, that flat Earth measured angle, times it by 60 to give you a radial value, along a flat surface in linear flat miles. It can't be bendy, or it wouldn't be a radius for a circle of equal elevation. Specifically with respect to Earth's surface, when you navigate Earth's surface, flat with this circle.
Between you and the GP.
Yeah, that's a flat line.
Yeah, how do you measure it?
With an altitude angle.
You're there with a compass. Nathan said you use a compass to get there.
You measure you measure the distance between you and the GP with an altitude angle?
No, for
Is that
the
what you
ninth.
just said?
No, he's just deaf and stupid. For the 9th time.
The compass. He said a
No,
compass.
I'm not talking to Edinburgh. I'm answering this guy's question. It's going to be the same rendition for the 9th time. No, you don't measure the distance with an altitude angle. You calculate the distance based on a radial value. To get the radial value, you measure an angle with respect to a plane. That gives you a degree, a number with a little circle after it. You take that number and minus that number from 90. Then the outcome of minusing it from 90 is then times by 60. The 90 that you minus it from is the 90 degrees to your position. The 60 that you times it by is the distance in nautical miles that will give you as an extracted value a radius value. That's the ninth. That is the ninth. That is the ninth time I have explained this. 9 times I've explained this to you.
Oh, you calculate it, not measure it. Then you keep saying
yeah. That was literally the first answer I gave you when you said, "Is it real?" My answer, the first words out of my mouth were, "It's a calculated value."
You can't measure it because there is no flat line.
Yeah, the altitude angle. The altitude angle is the flat line.
Man.
Yes, the altitude angle is the flat line.
So you calculate it. Listen, everybody, you calculate
these numbers.
Just let them all spurg out for a bit, John. Just let them all spurg out for a bit. They're all going nuts.
Has 10th man left you, Nathan, or what? He sort of left you in the lurch because he gave you all these numbers, remember?
I spoke to 10th man a couple of days ago. Good friend.
Yeah, how is he? I mean, he seems to have disappeared. He's not here to back you up with these measurements he gave you.
He's very well. He ably described to me, I'll go through it for a 10th time, what 10th man explained to me, that when you minus from 90 and times by 60 the flat earth measured angle from a baseline, that'll give you a radial value that you can turn into a circle. The one I was asked about and have explained 10 times. Yeah, it's a calculated value. I'm pretty sure the first words out of my mouth when he said, "Is this real?" was, "It's a calculated value." Now, after 9 renditions, he's told me, "So it's calculated?" Yeah, that was pretty much the first words out of my mouth when I was asked about this. It was entirely ignored with my Y-mail models as the response.
No, you measure. You say you measure Earth flat, but now you're saying you calculate it.
Yeah. So do you want to steal man? So given I've given it you now 10 times, do you want to explain where I say it's not? It's a fact that Earth's measured flat, or was 10 times not enough for you extracting how Earth is measured flat when I've explained it 10 times?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you where you actually do a measurement instead of a calculation. You said it's measured flat.
That's
correct. So now, where is that measurement?
That's okay. That's no worries.
I'm asking for.
Yeah. I'll tell you for the 11th time. See how well you cope with it.
Oh, so, it was only 5. You can't count.
I didn't get one word, so you can't cope with a single word. So immediately it's interrupted. Literally, I haven't got a single word out on this occasion. The 11th occasion hasn't come yet. I'll try again. Second attempt. Third attempt. We'll see how many times this is the fourth attempt to get the same explanation for the 11th time out, because he doesn't understand where the flat Earth is measured with an altitude angle from surface level to give you a degree with a little circle after it. That's a measurement of an altitude angle. Altitude means from the surface. Angle means 2 straight lines. Measurement means we physically measure it with respect to the surface forming part of the angle. You then take that flat Earth only measured angle from a flat plane forming the baseline 11 times. Minus it from 90, that's the flat measurement you've measured, and times it by 60, 90 being the angle to the base, 60 being the nautical mile distance to give you the radial value you calculate. Then with that radial value that you took a flat measurement, minused it from 90 and timesed it by 60, that gives you a radius that you can turn into a circumference. That's a circle, to answer your question for the 11th time. Earth's measured flat with altitude angles, 11 times.
Are you going to argue that there can't be an angle between 2 curved lines or 1 curved line?
Obviously, somebody doesn't understand what an angle is. Do you want to define what an angle is for me, my friend, who said it couldn't be from a curve? Do you want to define what an angle is?
Yes, it's the measurement of the number of degrees between 2 lines.
2 what kind of lines? 2 bent lines, right?
2 lines.
2 what kind of lines? Are they bent lines?
Any line.
No, not any lines. No, that's wrong. Let me get this correct for my audience benefit. Now this guy's wrong. What's going to happen now, ladies and gentlemen, is about 3 or 4 minutes potential spurging through the fact that he's wrong, with a few white knights and cucks talking over the top of me, pointing out how wrong he is. Now, there are particular types of lines. Maybe we'll eventually get to the types of lines that we'll be measuring for angles. We'll see.
Intersecting lines. That's the type.
What kind of lines? Bent lines? Are they intersecting bent lines?
They can be.
90 to 60.
No, they definitely can't be. No. If they're intersecting bent lines, then they're not angles.
90 to 60 is not perpendicular.
Yeah, to say that it's an angle when you have a curve and a straight line meeting, you'll never get an angle from that. You'll get a multitude of different angles after you draw straight lines to each point on that curve. You would have a changing
angle is measured at a point. I'm sorry, you guys didn't take the
angle.
Sorry, John. We're going to have to do it again. We're going to have to give them about 5 minutes to tucker themselves out as they all spurg through how wrong this guy was. Give him 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's 6 of you trying to have different conversations.
Yeah, there's 6 of them because they don't like how angles are formed with straight lines. One of them is formed with the base, that's Earth's surface in this case. Can't be a bent line or it wouldn't be an angle, but 5-10 minutes maybe of spurging. We'll see how we get on.
But not the one that refracted.
Sorry, not. Was that not? Was that Edinburgh? Notting.
Hello,
Hey, Chucky. So I just want to understand this, Chucky. So you're saying bent lines can have an angle, and it's not just straight lines? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's really stupid. Dumbo, he's asking you if curved lines can form angles because he knows how stupid that is. We've had about 3 minutes of spurging so far. Do you want to concede how wrong you were? And that we need a straight flat line.
The term is curved, not bent. And yes, curved lines can have angles if they intersect. We learn how to calculate those. We learn how to calculate those in calculus in high school.
All right, so when we measure an elevation angle, which line's curving in an elevation angle? Go.
Oh, both technically, but
it's not an angle then, mate. It's not an angle. On screen for my audience. On screen for my audience. On screen for a live audience. Latitude angle. These two straight lines that form with a base with respect to an equatorial and extended celestial plane and a line up to the angle, they're not bending. This man is an idiot.
Yeah, you don't need to do calculus when you measure an elevation angle.
Should we go through it 12 times?
No. You do use calculus when you measure the angle between two.
When we measure the angle, no, we just measure an angle. It's a degree. It's 2 straight lines with a little degree symbol. That's just a measurement of 2 straight lines. There's no calculus. It's just a measurement of an angle.
I said you use calculus.
He doesn't understand calculus because you're using a straight grid system underlying the curves to draw 2 points on that curve to define it with calculus. He doesn't understand what calculus is.
Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat for altitude angles. I was asked about circles of equal altitude. The circles of equal altitude I was being asked about require Earth be measured flat with angles. They don't have curves forming them. This is a nonsense non sequitur. They're delivered by an idiot. Straight lines form angles, my friend. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat...
I didn't say they didn't. I never said they didn't.
All right, excellent. Well, when we measure this angle on screen for my audience, it's a straight line between you and the GP of the star, and a straight line to the star itself. The base is the ground that we're measuring. That's the altitude part of altitude angle.
That's not horizontal, though.
Yeah, it is on screen now. The equatorial and extended celestial planes are absolutely, without question, horizontal.
Yeah, it's not with the sextant, the one that John was talking about. So I've got to keep reminding you.
Sorry, are you denying that the equatorial and extended celestial plane are flat? Are you denying that? What, are you stuck in the north? Just a prisoner of the... Edinburgh's just a prisoner of the north with his flat angles to his flat Polaris, with his flat degrees with respect to a planar surface. Edinburgh's just trapped in the north.
Is in the north. You are, exactly.
No, you are. You're the one who brought up the equator. Not me. You're the one who's trapped in the north with your equatorial plane, as depicted on screen. This is Edinburgh's equatorial flat plane that we measure Earth with. This is Edinburgh being trapped in the north with flat plane measurements.
Where did you get that from?
What, being trapped in the north? You.
That's the best form of flattery, isn't it? Imitation. Thank you, Nathan. I'm glad that you've taken up my influence. Thank you.
Oh, that's all right. You're welcome to your flat Earth measurement of the equator.
No, it's you.
No. You're saying the equatorial plane's not flat, Edinburgh. It sounds like you're saying the equatorial plane is bent. Do you not understand what a plane is?
You notice I never said anything like that?
Well, you described the equator. I heard you specifically. We got it recorded and live streamed to an audience. You definitely brought up the equator. Now, the equator has a plane associated with it. Are you suggesting that plane's bending?
I'm pointing out that you said the equator was the biggest circle on flat.
I didn't say equator. You definitely did. We all heard you, Edinburgh. You definitely brought up the equator today And I'm asking you if you think the equator bends.
We have the recording, Nathan.
What, my recording that I made with my good sound that you were criticising earlier?
Recording of you saying...
My recording? You've got my recording, have you, Edabear? Oh, well, that's really nice of me to provide you all with these recordings.
Yeah.
Maybe when you get a channel, you can have recordings that people will reference.
They can if they like, but I'm just...
Yeah, they can. In the meantime, we've got an equatorial plane. It's flat. It definitely doesn't bend. I mean, I was going to bring this up on this particular server because there's been a few citations from Merriam-Webster that suggests that level, like the equatorial plane, comports to the curves of Earth's surface. So I'm just intrigued to know if you guys who appeal to Merriam-Webster's definition of level think that the equatorial plane or the extended celestial plane comport to Earth's curvy surface when they're described as a level plane. That's to say they have no part higher or lower than the other. Does the equatorial plane comport to Earth's curvy surface?
I thought you were educated.
Well, I've just got a contradiction in terms. I am educated, absolutely without question. Meanwhile, and my question still stands to anybody who appeals to Merriam-Webster's definitions. That is to say, if you are one of the people who has gone to Merriam-Webster and read that level means having no part higher or lower and comporting to the curvy parts of Earth's liquid surface. That is to say, if you're level, like the equatorial plane, does that mean that the equatorial level plane also comports to the liquid parts of Earth's surface because it's described as level? I'd like to know from all of those who've cited Merriam-Webster whether or not they think the equatorial plane comports to the liquid parts of Earth's surface.
Merriam, Nathan. Merriam. You can't read? Merriam.
Sorry, that's a fantastic rebuttal. Meanwhile, I've had several people put it to me that according to Merriam-Webster, we have level meaning comporting to the liquid parts of Earth's surface. So my question for all the people who've cited that specific Merriam-Webster definition, does the equatorial plane comport to the liquid parts of Earth's surface? That's my question. It's an open question to anybody.
Yeah. What about theodolite? Can we try that one next?
So could we stick to the question I've asked? I mean, you could all be scared of your own citations. I've had it shoved in my face about 12 times in the last 3 weeks. So I'd like to get some clarity. I've always pointed out whenever it's come up that it's a contradiction in terms. Level means having no part higher or lower than another. A bit like the equatorial plane or a tangential plane when you assume balls. Meanwhile, if level means having no part higher or lower than another, does it also mean that the equatorial and suggested tangential planes comport to the liquid parts of Earth's surface? I'd like to know if the equatorial planes, as per the cited definitions from Merriam-Webster, it is that simple. I'd like to know the answer.
The sea. You mean the sea, isn't it being no part higher or lower than the other?
Welcome to Flat Earth, that's right. The sea has no part higher or lower than another when described as mean sea level to describe all altitudes with respect to Edabear. That's right. Welcome to Flat Earth. Sea level, yeah, as an axiom, is a zero. It's a datum.
It's how we have to keep talking to his audience when he gets stuck in the corner.
Stuck in a corner with sea level? No, it's a zero datum. A zero for all altitudes to be described with is perfectly flat. Without exception, that's what the zero is, or we couldn't have altitudes described with respect to it. That's what a datum is.
Creating audio chaos.
What, Edabear?
Yeah. He said he had a higher education. He can't pronounce things. Are you dyslexic, Nathan?
So do you think my pronunciation is in any way distracting from the fact that several people have put a definition to me that says level means having no part higher or lower than another and comporting to the curved liquid parts of Earth's surface. So if that is the definition of level, and we have a look at the equatorial plane, does the equatorial plane bend in conformation of a curved global surface, if that's what level means?
Yeah, I do find it distracting when you can't pronounce something as somebody with a higher education. You're letting down...
That's not a response. That's a total ad hominem. So you can't speak properly is the response. I want to know if level comports to the liquid parts of a sphere. It seems like when it comes up, everybody seems to think they've taken a win. Yet when I say, okay, so level, having no part higher or lower than another, and simultaneously contradicting itself, comporting to a curve. Does the equatorial level plane comport to a curve?
So not the sea level then?
That's not an answer, so that's non-responsive. My question, according to a dictionary definition, Merriam-Webster, level is both comporting to a curve and having no part higher or lower than another. My question, is the equatorial plane comporting to the curved parts of Earth's surface, as per that contradiction in terms, aka the Merriam-Webster definition? Which is it?
That's better. I'm glad you corrected yourself now. Good boy, good boy.
But that's the same ad hom for the third time running. So I'll just keep putting it to everybody in this server until somebody actually gives me a response. Does the equatorial plane bend with Earth's liquid surfaces? Because the equatorial level plane, if it meets Merriam-Webster's definition, comports to a curve. And I'd like to know if that is the case or not.
Well, you know, what I asked earlier, you know, for you to have...
Does anybody have an answer?
You'd have to explain how you got
Edabed
to
doesn't have an
GP
answer. Does
to
anybody
the
else? Can we ask somebody else? Because Edabed doesn't seem to have an answer.
Planes, by definition, aren't curved.
According to the people who've cited Merriam-Webster, they comport to a curve when I'm cited that particular specific definition from a dictionary that says that level is both having no part higher or lower than another and comporting to the curved liquid parts of Earth's surface. So if it's planar, then that, as I've said about 20 times, is a contradiction in terms.
Those two definitions are or, not and. They are the same word, but they don't exist at the same time for the same definition. You dumbass.
That just means it's a contradiction. If they're two different things, then it can't be the same definition. That means it violates the law of non-contradiction. That means it violates the law of non-contradiction. Obviously, you're unfamiliar with the law of non-contradiction because you're calling me a dumbass for citing people who've given a contradictory summation of what level is. Yeah, that's a violation of the law. That's a violation of the law of non-contradiction. Spurging through it won't change that it violates the law of non-contradiction if it's two things.
What's the P and there is no or in the definition. The word or is not in that definition. It's a semicolon, which means and.
Yeah, it doesn't say or. So this guy was wrong. The guy that's just chat skanked through me for the last 2 straight minutes. It doesn't say or in that definition. You're wrong. You're an idiot. Dumbo. It doesn't say or. You've just made that up, haven't you, you Dumbo?
What is the P and not?
Right, Dumbo, who said it said or, you're wrong. It does not say or, you are wrong.
What is the P and not P?
Right, why is the guy who was wrong not conceding his incorrect and inaccurate assertion to my live audience? He was wrong. I'd like him to concede how wrong. It doesn't say or. That's wrong. It's a contradiction in terms still.
What is the P and not P?
Right, this definition's a contradiction in terms. Level means having no part higher or lower than another. If it applies that it's comporting to the liquid parts of Earth's curved surface, then the equatorial plane must meet that definition, and it does not. Ergo, the definition is a contradiction in terms. No amount of spurging through every single conclusory part of this statement will change how flat and level the equatorial plane requires the definition to be. Don't spurg through me. That doesn't change the outcome. It just means I have to repeat it 5 times.
Contradiction.
No one's spurging but you, Nathan.
I can hear the guy talking through me while I describe the contradiction in terms from Merriam-Webster's definition. Having no part higher or lower than another and comporting to the liquid parts of Earth's surface. That's a contradiction in terms.
Can I be heard? What is the P and not P? You don't know what that means, do you?
While having no part higher or lower than another and lowering at a steady rate. There's your P and not P.
No, that's not true. That's not correct.
Okay, Brenda, the equatorial plane is something you appealed to last time we spoke. According to the Merriam-Webster definition, level, like the equatorial plane is level, comports to the liquid parts of Earth's surface.
Yeah.
No, the equatorial plane, on screen now, labelled equator with vernal equinox. It is not comporting to any curve. It is level. That is to say, no part of this circle on screen, diagrammatically exampled, is comporting to any curvature at any stage whatsoever. It's just a flat plane. That's why it's got in bold capital type. This is a flat plane.
Yeah, so?
Well, that means that the Merriam-Webster definition's inaccurate because it violates the law of non-contradiction when it says that level means both having parts not higher than other parts and comporting to parts that are lower than other parts, aka a curve. That's inaccurate then.
No, it isn't, because the equatorial plane bisects the Earth. It's not on the surface.
Yeah. When you describe level by definition, level, according to Merriam-Webster, comports to Earth's curved surface.
It's not on the surface.
Right, so it can't meet that definition then. That is to say, when describing what level isn't with respect to a curved surface then. Yeah, I already knew that.
Because it bisects the entire Earth. It's not on the surface, Nathan.
And?
Right, so it's not on the surface, so it doesn't apply.
Right, so therefore the definition of level can mean literally having no parts higher or lower than another without any caveats about having specific non-level surfaces then. That's having parts lower than other parts when you describe it comporting to a curve.
The equatorial plane isn't level to the Earth at all because it isn't in reference to the Earth.
Yeah, it is. When we translate what you guys measure from a planar surface that will not work in your model, you have to transpose the level planar measurements of Earth's surface inside a ball, which is a glorified protractor, to get it to function.
Level means with respect to. The equatorial plane isn't level with respect to the Earth. It's a different plane. It's not on the Earth. You clown.
Okay, so we can understand that level just means having no part higher or lower than another. Because if level also means comporting to the liquid parts of Earth's surface, then when we describe the equatorial plane, that part of the definition completely fails then.
Words have meaning within a specific context. They don't have any kind of absolute meaning. They mean with respect to something else, right? They're defined within a particular context.
I see.
So they have a sense, they have a reference and a sense. And the sense in this case is different than the sense in the case of water conforming to the surface of the Earth. Therefore, there's no contradiction. Because
there is.
Because it means a lot of contradiction means that something is it contradicts another thing in the same sense. Sense.
So dropping away at a set rate as curvature would have to be described.
What?
Isn't having no part higher or lower than another.
It's a contradiction.
With respect to what? With respect to the curvature of the Earth, right?
Yeah, curvature would be something that's not having no part higher or lower than another, because if it's curving, it has parts lower than other parts. Therefore, to say level means having no part higher or lower than another, and curving. No, those two things are incompatible with one another. In fact, they're a violation of the law of non-contradiction. To describe something curving away, that's comporting to the liquid parts of a curved surface, then you'd be describing it from level. It wouldn't be level if you describe it from level.
Curving away with respect to what?
A level. If you're going to describe something curving away, you need to describe it with respect to level. Therefore, to say level is also comporting to a curve is a violation of the law of non-contradiction.
If I construct a tangent at point B or point X on the surface of a sphere, the curvature curves away with respect to that tangent plane.
That's not what the definition says. That's not what the definition says. It doesn't say anything about tangential planes. Okay, so gotcha. I gotcha. So if we've got a tangential plane, yeah, that's a level plane. Right? That's what you're talking about. With a ball dangling below it, tangential to it. Does that level plane that you call a tangential plane comport to the Earth's curved surface, the tangential plane?
Why are you saying it's level?
Because according to you, it's with respect to Earth's surface. This tangential plane is touching Earth's surface at a point when you assume a ball's dangling below a plane. So my question again, does this level plane you call a tangent plane, that is definitely with respect to the assumed spherical surface touching it at a point, therefore, according to the definition, if it's with respect to the surface, then this level plane will be conforming to the curve? So does the tangent plane, because it's definitely with respect to Earth's surface, meet the definition of Merriam-Webster when it says that this level plane comports to the curve? So you think a tangent plane curves then, correct?
A a level line, right, in surveying will be level in the sense that it will be perpendicular, right, to the force of gravity, to zenith, at every point along the curve. It will be level all along the curve.
Sorry to interrupt you, Brenda. Sorry to interrupt you. You're 111 years out of date. Gravity is not a force. End quote, George Musa. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, Professor Brian Cox. You're out of date with your rhetoric. Or another way to put that is stupid. When you said perpendicular to the force of there isn't a force of gravity at all. End quote, Professor Brian Cox. Now, I don't know if you feel that you trump Professor Brian Cox when he says, quote, there isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, or George Musa, gravity is not a force, end quote, because you've just said it is. You're wrong, but if we were to accept your incorrect assertion that it's perpendicular to gravity's downward vector, then a downward vector is also perpendicular to a plane.
So George Mercer also, in that quote, said, but you can talk about it as if it's a force.
That's not what he said. His actual official quote, verbatim, was, you can think of it as a force, and I would say you can think of Earth as being a giant turtle. I mean, it doesn't mean it is one, and it doesn't mean that gravity is a force. It isn't really a force at all, end quote, Professor Brian Cox. But yeah, you can think of it as one. But thinking of things doesn't make them real. That just means you're thinking about it.
No, it means you're permit. We have permission.
You have my permission to think of Earth as a giant roast chicken. You have my permission to think of it in that way. Does that mean because I've given you permission to think of it in that way, it is one?
But that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work because gravity, quote, is not a force, or there isn't really a force of gravity at all. Now, while you say, but I can think of it as one, yeah, I give you permission to think of Earth as a giant roast chicken. It doesn't mean it is one. You can think of it as one, though.
Right.
You have my
I'm
permission.
saying it is.
Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat with elevation angles, with respect to a plane. Altitude angles are what derive things like equatorial values, with respect to a planar surface. It must be flat for us to derive straight lines for angles. If level, that's where we get part of the angle, also curves with a curved surface it's comporting to, then it's not a straight line for an angle on a plane as is required. The Merriam-Webster definition violates the law of non-contradiction.
There's no contradiction.
Also, down is a vector direction on a Cartesian plane. That's not with respect to a curve. It's with respect to a plane.
Yeah, that's what I said. Notwithstanding that down.
That's a genetic fallacy. That's a genetic fallacy. Right. So we're permitted. We're allowed to.
No, it's not. That's just the definition.
Yeah.
Down is planar. Down is planar, Brenda. Down is planar.
What?
Down is planar. It's not non-Euclidean. It's not a non-Cartesian. It's not a geodesic. Down is planar. It's perpendicular to a plane. That's what down is. If we accept, because we can think of a downward vector as a force, looks up at clouds, releases a fart and watches it disperse in all directions. Everyone in the house knows how stinky I am. Yeah, those aren't downward. You can say that gravity is a force of down, but the clouds sit in opposition to that. Gas disperses in all directions. Meanwhile, if we did accept your incorrect assertion defied by Cox and Musa, professors of science, that say you're wrong, we'd still have downward vectors perpendicular to a plane. That's not geodesic. You understand that, right? Down is nothing to do with measuring curves. Down is planar.
It's hard to tell when you're done, but clouds go up because of gravity, Nathan.
Up is perpendicular to a plane.
Yeah, they go up because of gravity, Nathan.
Right. Gravity in your incorrect 111-year out-of-date assertion is a vector downwards, not upwards.
Oh. No, gravity is not a vector downwards.
No, there is no force of gravity at all, end quote, Professor Brian Cox. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, Brenda.
You're right, there isn't.
Right, so why'd you keep asserting that we've got a force of down that's now become a force of up, both of which are vectors with respect to a plane? These are flat Earth directions.
There's no up force.
Up is with respect to a plane. It's perpendicular with respect to it.
There's no up force, Nathan.
No, there's no up force or down force. Meanwhile, up and down, regardless of whether or not we're going to ascribe them vectors with forces, as you have done, doesn't change that they're perpendicular to a plane in both instances. Up and down are with respect to a plane. Earth's measured flat for up and down.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. Up and down is a vertical orientation or vertical vector. That is vertical, that's perpendicular to horizontal. That's a planar description for verticality and orientation upwards. Why am I being rumpus to all shit while I disagree with this? Why am I being rumpus?
Because you're repeating yourself. Technically, gravity isn't a force, but it causes weight, and weight is a
She's
force.
disagreeing with the definition.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, I'm not. So the point is that gravity is not a force.
Get the definition of
treat it
vertical.
as if
Sorry, do we just hear correctly? Brenda just said, quote, gravity is not a force. She's just asked me literally 4 minutes ago about the force of gravity. So she's wrong then.
correct.
So you're wrong then. When you asked me about a force, you were just wrong. Now you're conceding how wrong you were.
No, I'm saying that.
So it is still a force. So it's not a force and it's a force. No, you can't be right in both instances, Brenda. You're just a moron.
He's right. Technically, it's not a force, but we...
Right, well, Brenda's put it to me that it is, so we'll just wait for Brenda to concede how wrong she was.
She never said it is.
She said, the force of gravity, end quote, Brenda.
Yeah, it's not a force.
Yeah, not a force, right. So do you want to concede how wrong you were then?
No, we can treat it as.
No, so I don't want to talk to her anymore. She can't concede when she's wrong. Don't want to talk to her.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, gravity's not a force.
It was perpendicular to the force of gravity. You were saying nothing there. Right?
Perpendicular to the force of gravity, end quote, Brenda. Just wrong. Can't concede.
What is the law of gravity?
Why are you asking me something? I want to hear, I was wrong, Nathan. Not perpendicular to a force. There isn't one. You were wrong. Let's hear it.
I'm not wrong.
So there's a force that we're perpendicular to. No, George Musa. Gravity is not a force. Professor Brian Cox, there isn't really a force of gravity at all. Cook on the panel, there isn't a force of gravity. You, Brenda, no, it's not a force.
That's right.
So do you want to concede how wrong you were when you started asking me about a vector force then, please?
We can treat it.
We can stutter, can we? Can we treat it as a force? That's not you conceding how wrong you were. What a complete coward.
No, we can treat it as if it's a force.
And we can treat Earth as though it's a roast chicken. I give you my permission to treat Earth as a turtle.
Yeah, that won't give you the correct answer.
Oh, it won't give you a force either. Treating it like it's a force won't make it one, because it isn't one. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, Cox.
That's
Professor.
right. That's absolutely right.
Right, when you asked me about a force vector, you were wrong to ask me about it then.
We can treat it as if...
Oh, I see. We're back to treating things that aren't things that are real and not forces. We can treat them as them. No, we're not going to be treating forces that aren't forces as forces just because some arsehole gave you permission.
Yeah, we can do that.
We could. You could. I won't be doing that because, quote, Brian Cox, there isn't really a force of gravity at all. So I won't be treating it as one because there isn't really a force of gravity at all.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, so when you asked me about it, you were wrong, you stupid cow. You just can't concede it because you're pathetic. Meanwhile, perpendicular altitude and vectors in the vertical are with respect to a plane. These are directions with respect to a plane. Earth's flat for directionality.
No, that's not what directions are.
Yeah, they are. On screen now. Azimuth and altitude. Azimuth is degrees in the horizontal. Altitude is the verticality derived directly from the horizontal. Where it says zenith, the guy earlier talked about zenith, that's 90 degrees to a plane. The altitude angle is with respect to a plane. The azimuthal directionality is with respect to a plane. Directions and vectors are absolutely unequivocally all with respect to a plane, as diagrammatically
That's
as well.
false. It's false.
Could I say
That's
something to
false
Brenda
because
real quick?
Directions and vectors are one-dimensional. They're not planes or surfaces. They're one dimension.
Vectors aren't one dimension. That's stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
vectors
are.
are one-dimensional, but that means that they can't be an arc because that's a two-dimensional description. Hey,
Nobody
Brenda, you are
claims-
my
nobody
favorite
claims it.
baller. I just want you to know that. You are my favorite baller.
Why? I don't know why, because I'm not saying anything different than anybody else says it. Right? Gravity is not a force, but we can treat it as if it's a force. Directions are not planar, they are one-dimensional. And they
So with
follow
respect to a
along
plane, though,
the
when you're
curve of the
talking
Earth.
about three-dimensional directions.
I'm sorry, what was that, John?
When you're talking about three-dimensional directions, they are with respect to a plane. Is this how it works?
No. How many, so if I say X is 10 inches, right? Is that flat?
Is X on a horizontal axis?
Is 3 feet flat?
He's asking if you asked about X. You asked about X. You asked him about X, and he's clarifying what you're asking about.
Yeah, just a clarifying question. Are you talking about on a horizontal axis, right? Like, are you talking on a vertical?
Just the
what
number.
are you talking about?
Just a number. Just a number. Just a number.
The number
inches,
itself
3
doesn't
feet.
give that to you. When you
2.5
apply those in
2.5
three-dimensional reality, that's when you get with respect to a plane.
Yeah, like altitude, sea level, surface level, vectors.
Is 30 degrees? Is 30 degrees flat?
30 degrees of what?
Yeah,
The lines
30
are
degrees. Is it
straight.
flat?
Okay, Brenda, this is you're getting tricked up on. The lines are straight. Okay.
And what does straight mean?
Not curving.
No, it doesn't. It's not what straight.
Straight is the closest distance between 2 points in a set direction.
No, that's also wrong. There's a formal.
Please
there's a
give us
formal
your
mathematical.
definition of straight.
Yeah, I do know what it is.
Oh, then what's
You
your
don't
definition?
know.
Go ahead.
All right. I have it written down. I need to look it up because it's math.
Down and up are with respect to a plane. If you're going to look it up is with respect to a plane. Vertical.
He has to look up the definition of straight, really?
Well, looking up is with respect to a plane.
Well, she's got a definition that tries to skirt the reality of what straight is. So that's why she's
hold on, John. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, she's my favorite boss.
Hold on, John. Hold on. Go ahead, Brenda.
Straight in geometry is defined as the covariant derivative of the tangent vector to the path that you're on. That's what straight is. I'll repeat that for the slow. It's the covariant derivative
is straight. So
you're an engineer. You're an engineer.
And that
you're an engineer. You're an engineer, John. John, you're an engineer. You know what
Before you keep going, I want you to say that again. A tangent vector. Okay. That means straight.
It's called
you
vector.
Just asked,
it's called vector.
You're using like it's a circular definition at this point.
It's not. You know what parallel vector transport is, don't you? No, you don't. You don't know that shit.
Traveling at the same distance apart?
No, a parallel vector transport along a sphere is what defines the curvature of the object. Right? It's the covariant derivative of the vector.
The tangent is the tangent curving.
I don't know. According to Merriam-Webster, level also curves with conformity to Earth's curved surface. So the tangent plane must be curving according to this definition that I've got.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be in your dictionary, right? This is a mathematical definition.
Yeah, it's because the mathematics that you're feeding out are what are you talking about? Extrinsic mathematics or intrinsic?
Do you know what a covariant derivative is?
Tell us. Derivative sounds like it's not measuring, it's deriving.
Yeah, and covariant seems as if it's a constantly changing zero.
John claims to be an engineer. He should know what a derivative is. Do you know what a derivative is, John?
Yes.
What is a derivative?
A derived value.
No.
No. So you're saying a derivative's not derived? Okay. What does it mean then? You tell us. Not hearing anything. Total silence. Is it going to be that it is actually a derived value as opposed to a measured value? Is it a derived value, this derivative? Is derivative not derived? Does derivative mean measured? Like the flatness of Earth that we measure with elevation angles from a 0 degree baseline that's not curving.
It's something derived from a source.
Yeah, the source will be a flat measurement.
I don't know what she's going to come out with. She's got to use derived. You need it.
Doesn't seem to be saying anything. We've got total silence from her. Is it a derived value, or does it mean measurement? When we say derived, does that mean measured? Derivative means measured, right? No? Meanwhile, Earth is measured flat. Elevation angles, altitude, surface level, sea level, eye level, flight level, altitudes, measurements from sea level itself, distances, azimuth, directions. Every single one of them are all flat Earth measurements, without exception. Earth's measured flat in all instances.
What she's doing right now is she's trying to make covariant not be a constantly changing rate and a derivative of a source value. So she's really like trying to figure out how to say it and not use the words that I've used already. That's probably why she's going silent.
Oh, good talk. Earth is still measured flat, by the way. Nothing's been discussed here with regards to any measurements beyond the flat ones. All of them were flat. I mean, we had some suggestions that we could beg the question of tangential planes that we measure with dangling dingleberry balls below them, and equatorial planes where we'd have to be inside Earth on a plane. Meanwhile, Earth's still a plane. And level just means having no part higher or lower than another. It doesn't mean comporting to the liquid parts of Earth's surface, or equatorial planes wouldn't be planes. They'd be bent. Any more for any more? It's been fun being in here. This has been a much calmer interaction with Flat Earth, debate Flat Earth and more. Excellent. Anything else?
I think their silence is because Brenda just stuck both feet in her mouth and then swallowed the rest of her body.
Well, fun though it was, we do have to end, as all good things do. So with that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Oh wow, I got kicked out right at the end. Isn't that interesting?
Did you?
Yeah, they kicked me out.
Wow.
Get
rid of him quick.
Quick, get rid of him.
They're accusing you of running away, and Brenda's taking a victory lap right now.
In silence? We walked away in silence.
Yeah, during the outro, somebody kicked me out.
She believes that it was her back and forth with you that made you guys leave because she had defeated you.
On the contrary, somebody booted me out of the room.
No, I believe
it's funny because her team or whoever was feeding her told her that I was wrong when I was talking about the covariant derivative. But I give her the dictionary definition that I knew off the top of my head. I mean, it wasn't exact. But all the words I used, she couldn't describe what she was trying to describe without them. So she can't say I'm wrong and use my words. You see what I mean?
Yeah, when she said you were wrong, that excluded her from using that terminology.
Now there's enough time that's gone by now. She can define it for all them other cats, and they'll think she's smart and use my words to define it. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't even worry about it. She was on some tangent about who her psychiatrist was because she was making all those ad hom accusations against Nathan and sexual repression and all that.
Sexual repression? Wow. Tell me more.
Yeah, it was just silly. That's what they were accusing you of. And then Brenda was saying how she worked that all out in her own life and she gave the psychologist's name. It all happened in like 15 seconds, obviously. But
what does that mean? What does being sexual... I have to look that up. What does that mean, being sexually repressed?
You know, I guess you want it, but the wife ain't giving it.
Is that right? Let's have a look. Sexual repression is a state where a person consciously or unconsciously blocks their natural sexual thoughts, desires, or expressions due to guilt, shame, or social pressure. It often stems from strict religious beliefs, family attributes, or past trauma, and can lead to anxiety, physical tension, and relationship challenges. I still don't understand. How does this apply to me? I mean, on the one hand, they'll accuse me of having pepper pots and accuse me of being a sexual deviant. Now I'm sexually repressed. Can you be both a sexual deviant and sexually repressed at the same time? Is that possible?
Absolutely.
You can?
You
oh,
could
okay.
be, but you would have to be like a Muslim BS, what is it, a sadomasochist and Muslim. You know what I mean?
Well, you'd have to be a sadomasochist
really
in private. That's to say nobody would know about it, while simultaneously in public being suppressed or oppressed in your religious outward look or outward demeanour. So you're meaning that you could have a double life, one where you are sexually repressed and the other where you're a deviant as a consequence of that repression.
Yeah, that would work. Yep.
Okay. Again, that's not me.
That is me, though. They might have been talking about... Were they talking about me?
I don't know. I really don't know. Cafe, were they talking specifically about me or John?
Yeah, no, they're talking about you, Nathan. This is what they do when you leave. Basically, they talk smack and they want to say, latent homosexual stuff, accusations, and all that. Then the sexual repression and all that. It's usually Brenda and what's his name, Etta Bear over there.
I mean, as a transgender.
Well, when we silenced them.
Go ahead. I was just going to make a joke. Go ahead.
When we silenced them and they were silent for like 15, 20 seconds of just saying nothing. They took that as them winning.
%100.
Then why didn't they act like they won?
To Rob Noxious's credit, right? Because he was at work, his occasional stepping in and going, "Look, I'm at work, but come on, don't do that," to the guy that was rumpusing. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Rob deserves props. Would anybody disagree?
I like Rob, except when when his religion is attacked, he becomes a horrible person.
Yeah. But still, credit where credit's due. His minor interventions were incredibly effective, and that was the most cordial exchange in any server over the last 3 weeks. Again, would anybody disagree with that?
I think the project is to get Rob to see the light. I think he could be on this side.
I don't know about that. I'm not necessarily casting aspersions in terms of his demeanour with respect to the subject matter. I'm just saying, through intervening and just with a slightly downbeat tone, like, don't do that. That's all he said, and it was just the right amount to actually be effective. And I'll give him props where credit's due. You know, he had a moderator hat on.
Yeah, because to be a moderator.
Yeah, he did a good job. Would you not disagree? I thought he did an excellent job, like occasionally intervening.
If you want to be a moderator, you got to be like a parent, right? And be the adult in the room, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what he'd done because he had his mind somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As a consequence of him being distracted from work, he ended up doing an outstanding job of moderation. Now, but for the fact that he was working, he may not have been as good a moderator, but regardless, it doesn't matter what caused him to be a good moderator and offer a limited amount of excellent input that kept the room in check. But it meant that we actually had a solid hour where I felt like after the hour, there's no loose ends. There's no 10 straight minutes of rumpusing through a conclusion that hasn't been made satisfactorily. I didn't feel like that. After the hour, I'm like, wicked. So every point's been concluded. There's been a limited rumpusing. People are going to always talk over each other. That's always going to be, that's going to happen. But to the point where the audience and the Discord server got to hear every conclusion. Now, that was in no small part down to Rob's intervention, so I'll just give props where props are due.
I came in late, so I can't comment, but I'm going to take your word for it. Yeah, that's one, Rob.
What was the main theme of the subject? I need to get AI to give us a thumbnail. What was the main theme today? I've forgotten already. My attention span's
curving
terrible.
planes.
The definition of straight.
It is a joke, isn't it, though, when we're talking to grown-up people about what level actually is. It fucking gets me every time.
Yeah, the covariant derivative. No, it's not. It is just a plane at whatever set altitude you are above sea level or mean sea level. That will be level. It's just got to be parallel to that plane. It's not that, like, you're not covariant, you're not changing levels as you move from one point to another. Crazy.
Hey, me, Maffa. You're an engineer, John. What does derivative mean? I'm thinking, what does it mean? I thought, I nearly said I know what a rivet is. I'm an engineer too. I know what a rivet is. Rivet is, but that's about it.
Sound a frog makes.
She should have said, you're a mathematician too, John. Like, no. I don't think she knows what engineers do.
The Merriam-Webster thing really gets under my skin. I was kind of glad you dove into that today, Nathan.
Sorry, say that again. I was paying attention to my thumbnail. One more time.
No, that's all right. I was just saying the Merriam-Webster thing gets under my skin, so I was glad you dove into it today. And it was interesting that Eldebear just couldn't address the direct question to him for a good, 10 minutes of you asking him, and had to focus on pronunciation.
Hold on a second. Merriam-Webster, I put it in Master B. You have to specifically ask what level means on a sphere to get what they say. If you just type in or look up the meaning of level, you get the meaning of level. And McToon, I busted him because underneath that, you got McToon using what level means on a sphere. Well, we have no sphere.
I totally agree. Neil, I had done a little bit of a dive into this, I think it was last week. And it turns out, and I left it in chat here too, a big long thing, but it turns out that it appears somebody reached out to Merriam-Webster and, like a Wikipedia entry, had modified the definition. But when you get definitions of words, it's always in the order of their most common usage. And in the case of level, it's noun, verb, and then adjective. And Merriam-Webster only had the guts to change the least common used version of it, the adjective form, to put this nonsense about conforming to the curved surface or whatever. So then I went into the Wayback Machine. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. And then they'll kind of timestamp over the years when the website was modified and an image of what it looked like. So then I took that definition page and kind of went back in time as far as I could, basically back to 2009. And granted, all of those timestamps had that in there for the adjective definition. 2009 didn't appear to have it, but I don't know if it was the full page. Anyway, put all that aside. As Nathan was talking this morning, I just ran over to AI and started asking some questions about dictionaries. And apparently, the Samuel Johnson Dictionary from 1755 was the first one to contain the word level. And sure enough, it has no nonsense whatsoever about that conforming to the curved surface, not crap. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, see, you say levels curving, right? And then you say, okay, well, the horizon is a horizontal line bisecting our view, but it's also where sea level meets the sky. How can it be level and horizontal if you think level deviates from horizontal?
Oh, dear.
But isn't that where their argument begins?
Yes. Yeah, they want it to violate the law of non-contradiction so they can get around the sticky wicket of acquiring perpendicular altitude angles to sea level or perpendicular elevations from sea level. Therefore, well, if we must concede that we've got sea level, this definition says sea level bends. Why? Well, because level doesn't mean level. It also means bending. You're like, what, describing how much it deviates from a level? You're like, no, it's a violation of the law of non-contradiction. And it will only hold true where there's the sticky wicket of, oh, we must measure this perpendicular to a plane. Therefore, the plane isn't a plane, it's curving. It's like, okay, so if level means curving with Earth's curved surface that you're assuming, does the equatorial plane do that? Oh, no, that's actually level. You're like, no, this isn't going to work. It's just a little get out of jail free card, or to put it another way, cope, offered to ballers. And most of the stuff that's out there that's ball specific is just cope offered to fart sniffing 12-year-olds when their paradigm fails.
Well, the horizon is a horizontal line, right? They won't bend horizontal. They want to bend level from horizontal.
Yeah.
Then we have them in a trap right there where they have to admit that level does not deviate from horizontal.
Exactly. Horizontal, level, same principle when describing Earth's planar surface. If you're going to describe curve from horizontal for linear distances, then it can't curve. Curve itself is derived from the horizontal.
So again, we're getting into these, let's argue about definitions. I mean, everything they say cannot be demonstrated in practical reality. You know, show me in practical reality where you've got a level curved surface of the Earth. It's level and curved.
Well, no, that's when they jump back to their it's locally flat, you know, basically measured flat, but they won't say that anymore. Because it used to be no big deal that Earth was measured flat, you know what I mean? That was part, I mean, it is still part of their rhetoric. It's just when they're in this topic, they don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
Well, I mean, like with NASA, right? All those people are heliocentrists. So within their own sources, they talk about Earth being flat all the time. It needs to be for any of their descriptions and measurements. But if they found out a flat earther was asking them about it, they would feel like they would become defensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They tell each other exactly what's going on. But yeah, maybe it's a little less nefarious and like tongue in cheek and like knowing than even I think.
Well, surveying and measuring the Earth, all the tools and equipment that I use, they're all for measuring vertical and horizontal angles and distance. Theodolites, total stations, sextants, none of these measure curvature in practical reality when measuring the Earth. Fucking story.
Well, if you ask Bev, he'll tell you the true globe measures in the horizontal.
Hear the same spell, and then you get told and you get shown, and then you have the choice of either, you know, you're either dumb or lying.
Well, I think it comes down to they don't have a good a philosophical grasp of reality. Like, we've pretty much done a study on epistemology over the past, I know since I've been here 6 years, it's probably been longer for the other guys. Oh, sorry.
We are kind of fighting for words meaning words, or what words mean.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. But all the equipment used to measure Earth is measuring horizontal, vertical angles and distance. None of them are designed to measure curvature. That's a fact. So no curvature is ever being measured.
Yeah, and that's the. Like I said, that I don't see why we're getting heliocentrists fighting against this. It's part of their rhetoric too. Like, why are they denying it so hard? I guess that's because we become anti-flat earthers when they get in this subject, isn't it?
Yeah, that is the essence of anti-flat earth, isn't it? Denying your own requirement for flat earth measurements. Like, you and your reference frames have been ruined. That's a fairly standard anti-flat earth rhetoric from Simon Dan. So, the fact that the globe earth requires reference frames and a flat earther has pointed out how they fail means that the flat earthers' reference frames have failed, therefore can be denied by a glober. But you're no longer a glober then. You denied the principles that are used to create your globe, in this case 2 reference frames. So if you deny them, what can you possibly... You can't say you're a globe believer anymore. If you were, you'd adhere to the requirement for 2 reference frames. When you put those on me, because I understand how they fail, and suggest that they're mine and that they failed, therefore it's my failure, that's where the origination of the term anti-flat earther came from. Somebody who's more than willing to relinquish the globe earth rhetoric because it's been defeated by someone who calls himself a flat earther. Now, the flat earther isn't a flat earther. He's an anti-glober. So when you say anti-flat earther, it's in name only to the categorization of somebody who's bracing against the globe. In this case, me. I'm bracing against the globe when I say the reference frames don't function as are suggested to prove sphericity and earth turn. The anti-flat earther, bracing against somebody who isn't actually claiming a flat earth, they're claiming how a globe fails, relinquishes their own use of a flat earth description, in this case of reference frames, because I've pointed it out. Weird old world, isn't it?
It's a very odd religion.
Yeah, we deal with some pretty strange people.
Yeah, when you get into the zealotry part of the religion, they have nothing that they hold to as fact, except that Earth is a oblate spheroid. That's all they hold to as a fact, and anything that contradicts that is thrown away. Even the measurements that give you that oblate spheroid, you know.
Yes.
See, that silence right there, that means the Globers won, because there was a 15-second silence and no one was making a claim. That means it's a globe. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, that checks out.
At one point, Nathan, you said altitude angles, and it wasn't called elevation angles or anything like that. But it is, you know. But anyway, they didn't know the term, and just that caused them to just go on a spurt out, saying that you don't know what you're talking about. And then I looked it up, and it was basically just an elevation angle from 90. And it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't
They
notice that. So just using the word altitude angle instead of elevation angle threw them. I didn't pick up on that. I gotta be honest. Interesting.
They definitely took it, and they took it as a win. Like that was what I took. Like, I'm listening to them like act as if they got the soundbite of the year.
Really?
Yep, they think if they get you in a gotcha, then facts aren't facts anymore. I think is what they think. No matter if it's a real gotcha or not, you know what I mean? Like, altitude can be defined in the vertical with respect to the horizontal, and elevation could be in the vertical with respect to the horizontal. But if you use vertical, that means horizontal is not horizontal no more. I don't know where their brain is. That one guy, I kid you not, he admitted that the plane of X and Y axis is a plane, but you're not talking about a Z axis. So in his mind, adding a Z axis made the X and Y curve. That's what? But Brenda never did get an answer on why she was my favorite baller. Is because she is the best at conflating terms and pretty much trying to deny every single fact in the matter. That's what she's really good at. Is just she never puts anything forward that's useful, but she denies everything that's asserted. You know what I mean?
The worst thing for Glovers.
Well, I think Brenda's realized as long as
I agree with the sentiment or sentiments being spoken about currently.
well, I was just saying, like, to a baller, if they can end up with an ambiguous conclusion, it's a win. If they can keep you from figuring anything out, they have won. Because it's, default their religion. You guys enjoy my night.
I don't think it's great. Asking about your mic.
Yeah, they can't hear my mic.
There's a lot of noise going on right now. So, but the point is, you can't hear any of that. And I'm on a train right now. So,
I heard you just then pretty well. Is this Elijah?
yeah, I'm on a train. There's another train going by on the other platform. You guys can't hear any of that stuff. You didn't hear the train announcer say, stand clear of the closing doors. All you do is hear me. I finally found a mic that works.
Yes, sir.
That's the best mic you've ever. That's the best mic you've ever had. You sound actually 10 years younger, mate.
Nice. I'm going underground, though. I'll be back.
I'm going underground.
Yeah, you better go underground, flat earther. Because, it has to be a flat plane to go under it.
Yeah, how far down are you going, Eli? From the horizontal?
Just like a baller. Only damn him give you basic information. Deny basic measurements and act like you're crazy because you point at measurements and say that's how we know. And they go, no, we calculated, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, maybe your calculations are misapplied. If you're calculating something that contradicts measurement, maybe you should rethink your whole postulate, like just saying.
Like we say, though, that's what they want to do, get into the dangle of words and definitions from this dictionary and definitions from that person and make their own definitions up. When if you just stick to what's happening in reality, what equipment's being used for navigation and what you're measuring, surveying, measuring the land for mapping, what tools and equipment's being used, it's all measuring angles, vertical, horizontal, and distance in practical applications. So shove your definitions up your ass, because that's what's happening in reality. All we're measuring is angles, vertical, horizontal, and distance. We also use the level plane called sea level. Sorry, I mean mean sea level for all measurements going forward, which is level.
Hey, I went ahead and got the definition for derivative. In mathematics and general usage, a derivative is a rate of change in instantaneous slope or something derived from a source. How is Brenda going to use that after I just said the same damn thing?
Say that again, mate. I was a little bit lost with all that, what was going on, to tell you the truth. But she was trying to get forward to you, and then you put something to her, and then, like you say, I missed little bits of it, but it just got quiet. She went away, and yeah.
She told me when I was wrong. She told me that I was wrong when she asked me if I knew what a derivative was, or no, it's a coefficient derivative. And I give her the definition of derivative. The coefficient's not as important, but like she's trying to find. I can only think that she told me I was wrong, and then she looked at the definition, froze, and then started looking for any other definition that she could use that didn't use the words that I used.
I mean, regardless, I mean, we all know Earth's measured flat and what I've just explained, but what was the point she was trying to get across about the Earth being measured curvature? What was she trying to say? Or what was the point?
Her logic came down to, if I can show this guy doesn't know what a word I say is, then he isn't what he says he is, and he doesn't have the authority to say what he said, even though what we're saying isn't based on my authority. She doesn't understand that.
So it was nothing to do with geometry.
Yeah,
no, it was a glorified ad hom.
Exactly.
She was on a glorified ad hom.
Exactly. It's a glorified ad hom because, in one respect, she's right. Right. None of us have any quote unquote authority when it comes to this subject. Yeah? None of us have any actual influence over the measurements. Us discussing them doesn't mean we influence them. But what they've done is they've turned describing and detailing measurements in a group of friends, if you want to call that Discord server or any Discord server a group of friends, right, into a pissing competition. Who's more qualified, and the qualification or experience of the individual has the bearing on whether or not the information's correct. Now, that is completely arse about face. It's like, no, whether or not somebody is qualified does not alter the details of a measurement that's described by an individual. You don't need any qualifications. Further to that, the qualifications, even if they were in effect, wouldn't make any difference to the measurements. Therefore, nobody could be in a more, nobody could be in a qualified position to say, well, therefore, I'm more right about this measurement. It's like, no, if I say azimuth, no amount of credentials or qualifications change or alter what azimuth is, do they? So it's a category error. The qualifications of the individual have absolutely no effect on the detail or the description of what a bearing is, of what an altitude is, of what azimuth is. They're inconsequential to how qualified you are. But if it's made into a pissing competition, then it's this person isn't justified or qualified to give this explanation, therefore we can reject it. It's like, well, you're using it also. If you're using altitude angles, you're using it too.
Yep, correct.
In their mind, though, with the consensus reality, as long as they can show us to be ignorant or stupid, then they can deny anything we say.
I don't know if you're noticed. I mean, I am noticed. I mean, they've always done it, but I've noticed since Nathan's been going in with his the latest rhetoric, I've actually just pointed out how they measuring Earth flat like everybody is. They're, like we've witnessed today, denying, these denying words and meanings and definitions. That's noticed them doing that because obviously, how they are. They want to know how to react to this. What's the best thing we can do now with Nathan's and the crew's new approach? Telling us that we're using it. How are we going to deal with this, Globers? What should we do to fight back? And they can't do much really, except for try and deny definitions, which has got nothing to do with actually measuring the Earth in physical reality, like I've just said. But that's what they're doing. I don't know if anybody else is noticing that, because they will try and change their armour now to deal with this new, the rhetoric. You know what I mean? Have you noticed anything?
But what they're doing is a slash and burn, right? It's like basically, if you can't have it, nobody can have it. They burn it all.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do.
It's a good way of putting it. If I can't use this measurement because it's flat, then no one can. It's all really sad.
Along the measurement, it's a imagination land. You know what I mean? That's what they want. Now they burn it all down just so, which works to our advantage anyway. That's all they're doing. There's no winning this. They're inevitable. There is a reason you have to respect the plane of reference, and they're going to find that out the further along this goes. It's epistemologically the basis for every single mathematical or geometric understanding of measurement. They're in for a world of hurt.
You just can't believe when you had Learns telling me last week that the height of Everest is not a measurement; it's a calculation. So I got him onto the trigonometry, and what was the first thing that we need to do is, we'll measure an elevation angle. So we've just measured we've just used a measurement then, have we, Michael? Well, yeah. So it is a measurement then. Well, no, it's a calculation. I said, well, what's the first thing we did? Well, we measured an elevation angle, and this went on for 10, 15 minutes. It's just it's like talking to a zombie.
Right, but he doesn't understand that the calculation as a derivative of the measurement means it's using the Earth as a flat plane in the calculation. And for the measurement, right, when they say, oh, you can't be inside of Mount Everest, just like, you can be inside Mount Everest to get its measured height. You can be inside the Earth to get its measured. You have to have a reference for measurement. The reference is sea level. The measurement is the elevation angle. The calculation is the height using a triangle. It's not that hard. They want to make it hard, though.
Yeah, well, it is hard because if you're using reality and sticking to what's actually happening, you're using measurements, planar measurements. You're using sea level, you're using trig, you're using elevation angles. Surveyors use the Lites, total stations. These are all angle measuring pieces of equipment. Just It's always been measured that way.
If you weren't a flat earther, it would be okay to talk about those things. But because you point out that in the measurement Earth is flat, that's how it's referenced.
Well, we've witnessed. Yeah, well, we've witnessed that, haven't we, with Wayne, the mapping guy. Remember? He was happy to talk about all this and how he's using the trig and from sea level and the distances to these the trig points and everything. And as soon as we told him, and then when we told him about compasses and requiring the horizontal plane, you have to use a parallel to the surface of Earth, he went bananas. But until we mentioned that, he was a happy chap at his work, really loving talking about how he measured Earth flat. Till we came up.
Well, let me give that's right. But with Brenda, right? She tried to use a coefficient variant parallel, which is to say, like if you had a tangent plane on a sphere and you took and rotated that sphere and kept a plane parallel to the tangent plane as you turned it, that means you can have parallel on a sphere. That's what she's wanting to say. You know what I mean? Like, she's trying her best to keep some of this stuff that the other guys are just throwing away, That's which I think is interesting. They're fighting two different battles, and they're just in disarray right now.
Well, like I keep saying, none of this is really happening in reality. When she's talking about tangent planes on a sphere and all, that isn't happening when just the surveys are out measuring the Earth. Just using the Earth and measuring vertical, horizontal angles and distance. That's what they're actually doing. You can go and watch them do it in reality. They haven't got a tangent line in the back pocket, an extendable tangent line.
Everything that Brenda appeals to has an XYZ coordinate system. She's doing it all within that coordinate system. But she won't admit that coordinate system is planar in nature. Like, don't know what to do with these people. Like, they don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, but you can't do anything with them. I was speaking to that Dawn, whatever he's called, and I was a bit of a banter with him, and he just basically admitted in the end that, and he was right. He said, and I wasn't trying to convert him. We were just talking about the subject matter. He said, if I want to believe in the globe, that's exactly what I'll do. It's none of your business. I said, well, that's correct. Because it is a belief, and if you want to believe in it, you just carry on.
But don't come to a flat Earth server and think that you're going to be able to have your belief and state it openly without challenge, or that you won't have to hear about the nature of reality. That's what kind of idiot says that as a response?
Well, an honest one. So, as much as it's irritating, that is the general demeanour, which is, shut up talking about this flat Earth stuff. We all want to continue to believe it's a ball. That's the consensus opinion. Therefore, you stand in opposition to the consensus, and that's very irritating to them. Like, okay, yeah, you are absolutely correct. You can believe you're on a ball. That's nobody's business.
Go somewhere else, though. You don't have a personal belief and then enter a room and demand that everyone else accept it. That ain't cool, man. You know what I mean? If they wanted to be like that, they wouldn't argue with us. They wouldn't even be here.
They wouldn't even be there. If the consensus was satisfactory, then they wouldn't need to be here. They wouldn't need to be arguing with us. But that is kind of why I kind of feel hypocritical going into these places when I point out there is no debate. So, well, why are you here then? Right, it's like, well, shooting fish in a barrel for YouTube for the purposes of entertainment only, because there is no debate.
But that's the opposite, though. You're walking into where there's a bunch of delusional people, and you're stating a fact. There's nothing wrong with that.
Most of the time, Nathan,
people to it.
Go on, John, finish that thought.
Sorry, John.
When you try to get someone to accept what you believe without evidence, just as you have, that's wrong. If you come in and you state a fact and they want to argue with you because of their belief, that's wrong.
Yep. And I thought you'd finished, John. Sorry. I was just going to say Nathan he's been in these rooms and he's waiting till he's approached and he listens to a claim and points out that their claim is using flat earth measurements. That's what he's been doing. Listening to the people, and if he's approached, he'll use their so-called globe evidence against them and point out how it's not a globe proof or measurement. It's a flat earth measurement that you're offering, and that's what Nathan's been doing. Not been going in there converting, but he's just pointing out how incorrect they are.
Which, if they were actually intellectuals like they're pretending to be, they would thank him for.
It is weird though, because like with Wayne the mapping guy, I'll talk about my friend John when I wrote, the story when we got to the sea level situation. I think these people in this arena, they're not here as anti-flat earthers or having this battle and argument, and they sort of react in exactly the same way. It's like a deep down, it's embedded in them somewhere, somehow. Everybody. You get this reaction from them all. It's the same sort of reaction, even if they're not talking about this on a daily or weekly basis, or they've never really entertained the subjects. Like, well, we've got tides; it can't be level. Or like with Wayne the mapping guy, he's probably never been in this sort of arena, but he's reacted exactly the same as them. With fury and a little bit of anger and a little bit of resentfulness. It's just weird how it's like embedded into everybody.
Hey, what's the app that we connect through now? I totally forgot.
That sounds a bit like Eli, doesn't it? But a little bit younger. Is that Eli's brother?
I'm trying to get out of Discord, but I forgot what because I got a new phone too. I forgot what app it was.
But
Not Google Hangouts.
Skype.
No, it's Teams.
Skype?
Oh, you
Teams. There
mean
you go.
Meet.
Jesus, I couldn't figure that out for the life of me.
Skype
I just kept
changed
typing
into
in Google
Teams
Meets.
over here. I don't know if it did over there by one deck, but it's Teams over here.
It still says Skype
Teams,
on my app, but
yeah. I have been typing in Google Meets. I'm like, it's something close to Meets, but I can't. It was too close for me to figure out Teams. Well, when you have an app for a long time and you don't think about it, you just click it. I didn't even remember what the app was called. I just click it to come here. So I'm never on there, to be fair,
Well, get back on here.
Good news about the book, Nathan. Any more information on that, mate?
No, I've just got a couple of things to sign, and once they're signed, that's it.
Right. Get it signed then? Oh, you're not going to sign yet?
I've got, yeah, it's one's just my banking information, which is nice and easy. There's like a contract or just some legal document that I also need to sign. But once that's done, it can be released.
And he'll just do that automatically, will he? He'll just do the release of it, and that's it, done.
Yeah. So the last communication with him yesterday was to say we'll hook up for a Skype call or whatever, meet or whatever call, and just discuss some of the marketing. Not that that's particularly relevant to getting it actually published, but other than that, I've signed off the most recent copy. So after making alterations to it, I'm like, yeah, that'll do.
Nice one. So have you had a final read through again, and what?
Well, no, because I'd already done a final read through and then passed it on to him. I just said, yeah, that's fine, and then leave it.
Yeah.
You know, just publish it. If there is any errors, then so be it.
Yeah. I can't wait to read it myself, even though I've been semi sort of involved with your journey and Paula's journey and sat in on some of the book sessions. So you sort of know, I know what the book's going to be about, and you know what the chapters are, and what you've got in there, and certain bits and pieces, and the characters and the stories. But even though I know that in my head, it'd be nice just to read it through from end to beginning and see. I'm just interested to do that, to think, to see what experience that is for me myself. You know what I mean? Even because I don't suppose we'll be thinking, well, I do all that anyway, and I think it will be a nice read, even though I've sort of been on the journey a little bit with you guys. You know what I mean? So I'm eager to do that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Let me see that. That's the train.
Yep.
You can't hear the train, but you can hear me. That's fine.
Sounds good.
Are you happy, Nathan? I did this for you. After 10 years, I finally figured it out.
Great.
I can stay off mute the whole time. If I don't care if somebody's touching my lips face to face talking. If it's not my voice, it's not going to pick it up.
So you've waited till the debate is over to get this piece of equipment.
I didn't know it existed, to be honest. I've been buying headphones as much as Nathan's been buying mics over the years. And yeah. And I never thought, well, it's not about how well it sounds to me. Why don't I look up a pair of headphones with a good sound control microphone? So I just AI'd it, and they were like, oh, yeah, Soundcore. And I was like, what? I never heard of that. Guinness Book of World Records. What? And I bought them, and well, now I don't have to be annoying anymore.
They sound great.
Thank you. And I wasn't even expecting the quality to be great, because, you know, when the AI is trying to separate your voice from other things, it sounds a little cuppy. But even then, this mic is better than a lot of the other mics that I've heard do that. But yeah, I'm ready to whip up some Globers now. You can't say you don't hear me. You can't say I have a terrible microphone. Let's go, Globers.
Well, them Globers are flat earthers, aren't they? All they've got is flat earth measurements to offer. Must be a delay on his.
No, I'm here. I didn't have anything else to say.
No worries, mate. Where have you been? Where have you been anyway, mate? Politics.
No, just working.
Right. Not been doing much on the servers and that, no.
I was there yesterday to try out my new microphone. I had a decent conversation with a guy. You know, when you're not triggered as a flat earther, it's very easy to kind of steer conversations, even with people that are not that reasonable in the beginning. You know, so it's like, you know, they'll try to it's not that they're trying to the best of their thinking and processing capability, they will most indefinitely bring up space, because because the earth resides in the space religion. It's not about the globe. Like, they don't give a shit about the globe. Is like, okay, yeah, it's a globe, but the globe is a globe inside of this expansive thing where there are billions of globes all over the place, and all this other stuff. And that's why it's hard for flat earthers to get them away from that, because they're like, what about satellites? What about planets? What about this? What about that? What about cosmology? What about why they're lying? And I just go, I don't know. But the fact that it measures flat is pretty bothersome. Don't you agree? Like, 'cause that's all I care about. And it's not that it's like, oh, that's all you care about, so it's boring. Yeah, it actually, if you're looking for entertainment over your peace of mind in the right thing, then sure, maybe you think that answer is lackluster. But I truly want to know when someone's bringing up these questions, but it's actually measured flat. And that's the one thing I can show and prove to you. That's the one thing I right now, hey, fuck it.
Hey,
I was almost to the end.
That's the only thing that's relevant is the measurement. You're right on point.
Oh, well, thank you. That's yeah. What else are we gonna talk? I can't validate to you what I think the sky is.
None of
I
that
can't
means
validate.
anything. Once you measure it flat, none of that means anything. That was my 3 years ago with it, or 2 years ago, whatever it was. And he still wanted to go back to, well, you got to prove that Earth is not moving. After he agreed that it measures flat.
You don't have to prove things that are just your experience. Why the fuck do I have to prove that I'm stationary? I'm not doing that. Excuse my language.
Yeah, but it's a folly. Once he agrees that it measures flat, then everything else just goes right out the window. It makes no sense.
Yeah, don't have to talk about anything else anymore. And that was the worry months ago when we was getting into this rhetoric and drilling it home to everybody that there's no debate, the argument's over, it's just measured flat. Oh, what we're going to do now then? But look what we've been doing. Nathan's been doing the last 3 or 4 weeks, going in these on these servers, not in an argumentative way, just pointing out that when they talk about anything or make a claim about the shape of the Earth, they will be describing and demonstrating that the Earth's measured flat too. For them to have the ball, they'll need a flat Earth measurement. They need it more than we do, as John said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to say all that. Like, the Glober's mind is like a minefield, and I don't want to step on anything that'll make them go, refraction, planets. No. Like I don't want to step on any of those landmines.
You don't have to if you just stick with the measurements.
Yeah, refraction's planar. So if you're describing terrestrial refraction, it's 7/6 of a radius that's measured on a flat Earth. And if you're describing just refraction, that's to say not terrestrial refraction, then you're describing the deviation in the vertical from the horizontal. Again, it's a planar description. Refraction's a flat Earth measurement.
May I do something for work? Did something happen to that server? Or
Which server?
like gems when you were there?
Oh, I got kicked out during my outro. So I did the outro, and then when I came back after doing the outro, I went to the room, and I wasn't in it anymore. I'm like, oh, I've been booted out of the room.
Oh wow.
There's only so much of flat Earth measurements they can handle, obviously.
Wait, say that again. What happened?
Nothing. During the live stream outro, I came back after finishing the outro, glanced across to Discord, and I was no longer in the room. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Which Discord?
Debate Flat Earth and More, Gem Panda's Discord.
Oh.
Not that I mind.
Okay.
I mean, I just went into Flipside. I don't particularly care. I mean, they were very cordial while we were there. Could have been a technical glitch. Maybe I was just inadvertently kicked out and nobody else was. But more likely is somebody didn't want me in there and was like, I'm had enough of this. I'm going to kick him out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check with the owner there.
I don't care. Like, you can if you want, but I don't care.
I'll ask on my own behalf. It's not that
Okay.
you care. I understand.
I doubt somebody's going to admit, yes, I couldn't cope, so I kicked
And
him
if
out.
they don't,
Anybody will take responsibility for it.
yeah, I mean, listen, man. At the end of the day, like this guy said, the past 3-4 weeks, I don't care what they say about you. I mean, McToon's army was there last night running their mouth, but the reality is you're going to these server 1v20 all these people. And these people, as I said before, none of them would ever do that to a flat Earth server. Like, you'll never see McToon go into like the 24/7 flat Earth Discord and battle 20 flat Earthers, right? It doesn't happen the other way around. And if someone doesn't want to have you in there, no problem. There's plenty of other servers you can go to. So
Exactly. No, what they wanted was me on a server where they have 20v1 and they could...
You need a new mic, Eli.
No, see, the thing is, if I hum, if I sigh, if I do anything, it will clearly pick up that. And I realize, like, because I don't have to have as much mic discipline, like, if I make no noise, I don't give a fuck if there are bombs going off. You won't hear it. I don't care if I'm talking to you and, you know, there are bombs going off. You still won't hear it. But sometimes I forget that that's the case, and I'll huff or I'll start humming because I'm neurodivergent, right? So I'll start stimming, right? And then you guys are like, what the heck is going on? And I'm like, oh, sorry.
Neurodivergent? I didn't know you were transgender.
I'm transmental.
Yeah, what they wanted, what they've been moaning about for years is we want you on a neutral platform, meaning me. And what they mean by neutral platform is a platform where there's 20 of them against me. And they can easily bring a close to the discussion by having several people talk through every response for 20 straight minutes. So if you listen to the premiering stream from yesterday, which was in Worldwide Debates, I believe, the one that Jeremy owns. Is that Jeremy's Worldwide Debates?
Yeah, I think it was that one.
no, that's Earth Awakening.
Earth Awakenings. So we're in Earth Awakenings, and at some point the moderation team is completely lackluster. They've all vanished. There's no moderation in there. So there's about 30 people in there, and effectively, before Jeremy comes back, they can just draw a complete close to the conversation by just continuously talking through every single response. So that's what they wanted. That's what a neutral platform is to them. If we don't like what you're saying, we can have the ability to talk through you constantly. Or in the case of McToon, play a soundboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then on the other servers, they say, well, Nathan,
I was there. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying on the other servers, in the other rooms, sometimes they'll say, well, we'll put you in a different room, Nathan, and you've got control. You can have a mute button. But Nathan say, no, I don't want that. Because then you get accused of muting everybody. That's what they want.
Part about McToon is that, and I'm pretty, like, I haven't been in this field for 10 years like you guys have. Like, I'm pretty new. It's been a couple years. And I didn't notice until like a few weeks ago. But it's like McToon, like, he's right when he says he was playing the soundboard. But he's going around playing the victim game, saying that, well, Nathan doesn't let me speak. It's like, no, we were there, man. Stop lying. He let you speak. You're playing soundboards. Why are you lying like that? And then last night he was saying, well, it's not that he mutes me because he has no mod pack, because that's what I said. I said, Nathan doesn't have mod in Gem Pandas. He doesn't mute you. What are you talking about? And then he goes, well, he mutes it from his own end when he's doing his speech. And I said, okay, look, if he's trying to get a point out, like this happened even today. So I could already imagine when with like 20 people, I could already imagine when the room is full of like 40 plus people or whatever. When he's trying to get a response, all these autars are trying to like talk over him, right? So at some point, if he can't get his point out, he's going to have to mute everybody to get his point out. But again, this idea that he mutes you nonstop, it's a lie, because even if he does, like, this is based on the last couple of weeks, I would say. When he, a couple of times, like, I've seen him mute from his end, after he says what he has to say, he goes back on the Discord and unmutes everybody. So it's not like he mutes you for the whole time. Like, it's just a stupid narrative. Like, I'm getting sick of it now.
If you can't win...
Like David said, he's running a show. Sorry.
You need narratives and tactics and a whole bunch of other things that aren't actual winning positions to take. So, my opponent's a bad person, ad hominem attack. My opponent's making it unfair, he's got an unfair advantage. You're like, what? You don't need tactics or a home court advantage if you've got the winning point, right? There's a reason I can sit in those servers for 8 hours without it absolutely exhausting me. Because no matter what they throw at me, it's like, well, it's just measured flat. I'll just wait for you to give me a flat earth example. And when it comes, I'll point it out, it'll be ignored. And then when I try and reiterate that you're ignoring it, you'll rumpus me for 10 straight minutes. Well, that's really telling to the audience. They hear me saying, well, you've just used square miles. No, they're not. They're not square miles. You're the one who's just appealed to them. That's the actual discussion. That takes 10 seconds. But if they can drag that out for 45 minutes with constant muting, then it's because of the appearance in their own mind, like they've won. That's all they've got now. To say, no, my use of flat Earth measurements does not mean Earth is flat.
Also, back to what you were saying a few minutes ago, and again, this isn't him saying this, is me saying this as a moderator in Gem Pandas and Worldwide. Gem Pandas server is not a neutral platform. Like we got to give credit where it's due. Like, when you're going in there, that's not a neutral platform. This is a flat earther going into a room with 20 to 30 Globers, okay? Worldwide debates is a different story, right? That's more neutral, I would say. But Gem's room is not neutral. Let's not pretend like the audience is 50-50 or, this is a neutral plane here.
No. Well, none of them are neutral. Far from it. There is no neutrality in this discussion. In my humble opinion, every single server will be biased by the ball because that is the consensus. So therefore, what they call neutral is everybody in the consensus on my side. Then it's neutral in their mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could argue to be fair. Like, there is a few flat Earth servers, like 24/7 in the politics. That's mostly geared towards flat earthers. But the majority of these servers you go in is filled with ballers. That's just a fact.
Yeah. Because the consensus is ball, so of course it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, some of them have you on auto follow, right? Like no matter where you go, you're always going to see Brenda, Elder Bear, and these guys show up, right? So
yeah, they're big fans of mine.
They're definitely a big fan. I could vouch for that.
Yeah, because like I say, they've turned it into a pissing competition. And if they can show that I, as an individual, am bad, wrong, unqualified, whatever it is that they want to put at me, the man, that will in their mind justify me not being part of their consensus. Well, no, Nathan's not part of our consensus because he's wrong, an idiot, a child abuser, whatever it is they want to lay at my doorstep. But therefore it's justified that they don't have a full and complete consensus. Like, no, this isn't about whether or not you've got a full and complete consensus or whether I, the individual, am deemed ignorant, wrong, unqualified. Those things are irrelevant when the measurements being used by everybody are all flat. Like today, downward vector, downwards with respect to a plane. No, it isn't. Okay, feel free to deny these things. It doesn't make any difference to what down is, does it?
No. And she was trying to get you on the gravity thing there, get you off the measurements and onto gravity nonsense. And you turned the clock back and said, well, and pointed out, like you've just pointed out, the gravity you're referring to, which is 111 years out of date, requires a horizontal plane. So you brought it straight back to that as well, which you can do with anything they say. Which is what you've been doing.
Any of the measurements, if they ever infer that there's a measurement, in this case a downward vector measurement with respect to Earth, then it's a planar measurement perpendicular, and there's no getting away from that. Like, there is no down with respect to a ball. It just doesn't exist. There's in and there's out, and that's it. There is no plane of reference to utilise. There's nothing. Now, if you're going to suggest that there's a plane of reference inside a ball, okay, well then either we accept that we're in a ball on a plane, because that's how we're measuring with respect to a plane, but then you've got to suggest that you're inside a freaking ball on a plane, because we measure Earth as a plane. The problem
we're not in the ball, Nathan. We can just imagine it.
Yeah, we can. We can just imagine we're inside a ball when we measure Earth as a plane. But that's just cope, isn't it? That's what they've got. That's what they've got left. They've got their crap definitions that violate the law of non-contradiction, and also simultaneously don't comport with their assumptions of tangential planes that are level, and equatorial planes that are level, extended celestial planes that are level. Like, these don't meet the definition of comporting to Earth's curved surface. Now, they want that definition to stand. It's like, well, if it stands, then it applies to all things called level. Well, if you've got an equatorial plane that's level, it can't both be having no part higher or lower than another and comporting to Earth's curvature. It's like, no, that's only relevant to the surface. Like, what, the surface plane tangential to the ball, does that curve? Oh, well, no, that's also level. You're like, okay, so you don't want it both ways. You do want level to mean level, except when level means we're measuring Earth flat, then level means comporting to a curve. Like, this is just cope. This has been offered for dim-witted, overgrown 12-year-olds to cope with the inconsistency of being on a ball when we're measuring Earth flat. And at this point, I'm like, fine, you can have it. If a violation of the law of non-contradiction is what you require to have this belief, have it. Okay, level means curved. The globe is level. Well done, you win. Have it. I don't give a shit, because at this point, it doesn't matter if I agree with them. If I hand them the win immediately, all right, yeah, okay. Having no part higher or lower than another means bending around a ball, because we're measuring Earth as having no part higher or lower than another for an angle that's straight. But that means that the angle's not straight, it's bent because it's comporting to the curved surface. Like, the equatorial plane also bends, but doesn't bend, because that is having no part higher or lower than another, aka level. When we're describing that plane, just not the plane of Earth's surface, that's no longer a plane because it's bent, because this dictionary definition violates the law of non-contradiction. So well done, you win. This do-si-do nonsense violation of the law of non-contradiction means the level plane of Earth's surface we measure curves. Great win. It's like if I was taking that as my cope, it wouldn't be a nice placebo. It would be a bitter pill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have it. Have your bitter pill. Have your bitter curved Earth pill that's level because we're measuring Earth level. You know, have that bitter pill. If that helps you sleep tonight, good for you. You're entitled to your belief. But it does absolutely violate the law of non-contradiction. And there are several principles within a globe Earth belief that require level be level. Now that I've asked that question, just between you and me and the audience, how often do you think we'll receive that Merriam-Webster definition now that it's been challenged in regards to, okay, if you're suggesting that curved comports with the curved parts of Earth's surface, that's level, then is the equatorial plane, like this one on screen, does that level surface comport with a sphere? Because that's what you're defining level as. And if it's the answer, well, no, it only means comporting to a curve when we measure Earth flat. Like, well, we're measuring it flat for this angle that's inside a ball. Is that also comporting to the curved surface of Earth? The answer is no, which means that the definition is bunk. Now, it didn't need clarity being brought to it, because anybody with half a brain can recognise a contradiction. But if you're a baller, it's only recognisable when it violates an axiom that you're also using inside a ball or tangential to a ball. Then level's level, right? Now, I would postulate that at this point, having asked that question in front of an audience, that we will seldom hear the Merriam-Webster definition any further. And if it does, that'll be what's rammed down their throat immediately when it does seldom come up, which I think it will be seldom from this point. We'll rarely hear it again, because they know where it'll go. So, does the equatorial plane bend? Does that comport with the curves? Oh no, well that one doesn't. Oh, so that one doesn't meet this definition you're appealing to.
Nathan will just add the word global in front of it.
Crazy, isn't it? Like saying level's curved and curved's level, but then if curved is level, why are you throwing a horizontal straight tangent line on top of the curve? Why don't you just measure the curve level? Listen, sometimes it drives me a little bit crazy when I'm listening to this and the things they're saying, and you deal with it like for hours and hours. I'm thinking, you know, you can understand it if you're talking, well, I was going to say you can understand it if you're talking to somebody with psychological problems, but we obviously are. But, you know, when I say that, I mean, I'm not calling people with mental illnesses, but somebody that you just can't talk to because they've got, you know, proper illnesses and they can't understand things and they come out with garbage, who are in hospital maybe, and you can understand that they can't understand things fully and they're saying stupid things, but you'd like to presume that these people that you're talking to are just hashtag normal people. But when you hear what they're saying and the rebuttals and the nonsense they're coming out with, it's like, wow, this is something else, man. I thought that Merriam-Webster definition was dealt with a while ago, because I've not heard it for a while. I mean, years ago, wasn't it? But again, we're getting back to let's argue about definitions. No. You shove your definitions up your bum. How's Earth measured in reality? What's used? You want to talk about surveying, navigation, mapping, or do you want to talk about the levelness of the master reference level we call sea level? That's what we'll talk about, because we can talk about what is happening in physical reality when it's actually being measured for these purposes, for, you know, navigation and mapping, engineering projects, anything really. It's all being measured level. So we don't need to talk about definitions, because a definition isn't a measurement.
Well, McToon said something stupid last night, and they were talking about the 24-hour sun. And his response was, the 24-hour sun debunks the flat Earth, right? And only because of that one single statement, we could disregard anything else a flat Earth proof or anything else has, right? And what I said was, okay, let's just assume there is a 24-hour sun. What you're saying is because of that, you're essentially disregarding every other argument flat Earth has, if they do have one, whatever. And then his response was yes. And I said, okay, so if that's the standard, if anyone on the flat Earth side could find one globe argument that is wrong, then it should debunk the globe, right? At first, it was crickets. He didn't say anything because he couldn't. And then afterwards, he's like, well, yeah. I said, okay, that's the standard now. Okay, so I just want everyone to know that is the standard. That if you could find one globe evidence you could debunk, it should debunk the entire globe. It doesn't matter what else they have, according to McToon.
Yeah, but we don't debunk the globe. We used to, but now we just demonstrate how Earth's measured flat for everybody.
Yeah,
and McToon demonstrated that himself with measuring the elevation angle to the apparent sun for 24 hours when he did his, his sundial time lapse from a horizontal plane.
Exactly. So azimuth and altitude is the measurement. So you're saying the measurement alleged to take place in Antarctica debunks all flat Earth claims. You're like, what about the flat Earth claim of azimuth and the flat Earth claim of altitude? Oh, that would be your measurement that you're appealing to. Like, really? Okay. Again, your suggestion that a flat Earth measurement debunks a flat Earth is absolutely preposterous.
Yeah, I mean, there's people still out there debunking the globe, but there's no globe to debunk because the globe was derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements. That's how it was measured.
Yeah.
And then you just mathematically put into a globe. The globe is just a mathematical or concept, whatever you want to call it. But it was measured flat in the beginning.
Yeah, you're giving like a technical answer, which is right. But the thing is, like, I'm just saying the hypocrisy here because he's saying if there's a 24-hour sun, it proves the globe Earth. But then if you point out, okay, well, the moon landing didn't happen, then he will be like, well, that has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. It doesn't prove anything to do with the shape of the Earth. Okay, but how does having a 24-hour sun prove the shape of the Earth?
Because you measure it with horizontal degrees of azimuth and elevation angles from a plane with a leveled tool. So the measurements that are being appealed to suggest that it, quote, debunks a flat Earth. It's like, well, how? If all your measurements are with respect to a plane, which they absolutely are, then how does it debunk anything? In fact, it affirms a flat Earth. That's how it's being measured. It's not like they can cope with that. Like I say, with Toon, I've put that to him 110 times. Now, that's literal. He's literally had that put to him 110 times. Now, what does he do? Turn a blind eye. Like, nah. Rinse and repeat. At which point you think, I don't care. You know, this is pure zealotry. And it's not another, everyone's entitled to their belief situation. It's like, no. There's no belief involved. All of the measurements are with respect to a plane. Again, you can deny your own measurements and say, no, they're global elevation angles, end quote McToon. No, they're not. There's no such thing as a global elevation angle. There's just elevation angles. They're two straight lines meeting at a vertex, describing the angle, in this case of the sun, alleged to take place in Antarctica. If you're describing it moving around you, then you're describing the azimuthal directionality of the sun with respect to a plane. That's what azimuth is. Now, that is what they measured. They're not getting away from how flat they measured Earth. Same when they measured an alleged downward vector force with a scale. What, downward perpendicular to a plane with a tool that you leveled to the plane? Like, there's nothing other than flat Earth measuring going on. So if you want to tell yourself, well, no, if I assume the Earth is spherical, and I assume that south is not a horizontal measurement, it's a vertical one, defying its own principality, then I can assume that travelling south means I travelled down, and therefore antipodal, and therefore the sun moving in an azimuth that's also horizontal means that Earth isn't flat. You can string that together as a logical, fallacious set of reasonings, but it doesn't change that the measurements of the journey that you took to the south are planar, that the altitude of the plane with respect to sea level is planar, sea level itself being planar, the altitude of the Antarctic shelf they're alleged to be on, planar measurements, the tool being used to measure the angles of the sun, planar, the azimuthal direction of the sun, planar. It's like, what more do you want? Every single measurement with respect to everything done in this alleged trip was with respect to a flat Earth. Not a single measurement defied that principle. Not one. All of them were flat Earth measurements. Now, like I say, if you want to turn around and go, no, it's a global measurement. Okay, if you want to believe that two straight lines forming a vertex on the surface, that's elevation angle, is a curved line that's being measured, then you can delude yourself. Again, it's a bitter pill to swallow if that's what you've got as your cope. But that's all it is, cope. I can cope because this elevation angle from a plane is a global measurement. Okay, well, you can tell yourself that all you like. It won't change what it is. And I don't care at this point. It's like, you can believe that your global measurement is your flat Earth derivative elevation angle. But an elevation angle is still from a plane. It always was and always will be. Nothing we discuss will ever change that. And again, you can call me an idiot, you can say I'm not qualified. I don't need to be.
Like you've just explained anything, but I was just going to say before that, it's just the words like it's a global elevation angle. I mean, that is just ridiculous word salad to start with. I mean, when you just saying them words is like pathetic. It just doesn't make sense. A global elevation angle. But where'd you ever hear that term? You would never hear that term anywhere. Ever. It's just an elevation angle. There's no such thing as a global elevation angle measurement. It's just an elevation angle measurement. That's all it's ever been termed as.
Yeah.
That's all it ever will be termed as.
Whereas what they're saying is it's a curve angle. No, it isn't.
Thinking at the beginning of that final hashtag experiment, I seem to remember we was just saying, well, the light in the sky it's got nothing to do with the Earth, and it's only debunking a map. So that's what we're saying. We're using that so-called journey to wherever they was. We're not saying that anymore. We're saying everything you're describing is you made the flat Earth angle measurements of that light in the sky for a 24-hour period. Wasn't saying that in the beginning, was we? Now everything's coming down to you are measuring Earth flat. Anything we're not saying, oh well, what's the light in the sky got to do with the surface of Earth? It's not a measurement. It's just an observation. That's what we were saying like a few years ago. Not anymore.
These, nerdy guys that know all about space and the math and yada yada. Yes, please. And the thing about them is, when I have water, sorry. When they say they can't stand flat earthers, they don't understand what's going on, they immediately start talking about how legitimate their knowledge in space is. It has nothing to do with refuting the one point that we do make.
I think Nathan explains it well when they bring space up or, orbital mechanics. They're going to need a flat Earth for that. Aren't they, Nathan?
What, for height? Oh, for orbital mechanics.
Yeah, but when you go...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Derived from an R value. Measured flat. Described from a plane, like on screen. Yes, you can wrap a ball around that plane to describe the degrees from the protractor that the ball basically is. But to create the ball also requires a derivative radius value. Did you listen to that guy today? 11 times I went through the flat Earth acquisition of an angle from surface level to minus from 90 times by 60 to give you a radial value to derive into a calculated circle of equal altitude. 11 times I went through it with him. It was unreal.
I came in late today. I will listen to the show though later on or tomorrow. I'll listen. I came in late. I was busy, so I missed that bit. I just caught the elder bear bit and then the Brenda towards the end.
Getting a lot of Y male model moments.
Well, sorry, Nathan, say that again. I missed that.
Getting a lot of Y male models, like in Zoolander. The David Duchovny character explains why models are perfect assassins, with them being well trained and being able to slip into very secure areas. They'll have permission as models to be in those areas, and they're at the peak of physical fitness. Therefore, to train them with an MK Ultra type assassination program and then turn them on like sleepers is the reason why male models are used as assassins. He explains this, and then the Ben Stiller character says, or repeats, but why male models? And the David Duchovny character says, well, I just explained that to you like 10 seconds ago. That was actually a mistake. So the Adam Sandler, not Adam Sandler, what's his name? Is it Adam Sandler? Not Adam Sandler.
Well, don't ask me for name.
What's the Zoolander character?
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. The Ben Stiller character just forgot his line. So he just repeated the previous line. So he asks the David Duchovny character, but why male models? Then he gets the full, the cutaway showing them being trained and showing them slipping into secure areas while he's doing the voiceover. So David Duchovny's doing a voiceover. Then it cuts back to them in the graveyard and he just repeats the same line because he couldn't remember what the next line was. So he just says, but why male models? That's what we're getting. Well, but why is it a flat Earth measurement? I just told you like 10 seconds ago. Yeah, but why is it a flat Earth measurement? Well, you measure a flat Earth angle, minus it from 90 and times it by 60. That gives you a radius, and a radius can give you a circle. But why is it a flat Earth measurement? You do that 11 times, and you're like, my God, are these people really this stupid? And the answer is yes.
Yes. Must be, maybe the penny's dropping, but they just can't think of what to say or how to deal with it, so they just keep repeating, well, why? It'll just blank the pain away. Make me laugh though when they, elevation angles. Well, it's got nothing to do with the surface of Earth. and try and take away from Earth. But at the end of the day, you're measuring an angle, aren't you? Yes, I'm measuring an angle. You said it's got nothing to do with surface of Earth. Okay, then let's say it's not. Are you measuring curvature? No. Right then. So you just measure an angle. It's like fucking hell. But they've got no points or anything. Angles. Whether it's up a mountain or up the Eiffel Tower. They love talking about measuring angles for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, I was laughing at that, Nathan, when you said about they get home from the, they've been dying on the boat and they've used the elevation angle to the star to get home, and then the guy he wants to get these sexy now and measure another elevation angle. Now he's home safely and alive just to get the distance to the star. That's the other shite thing they come out with in it all the time.
Yeah, that's a tacit concession. So they're saying, notwithstanding that Earth is measured flat for elevation angles, how do you get the height? Obviously, they don't say notwithstanding elevation angles are flat Earth prerequisite. They just say, how'd you get the height? Like, that somehow undoes the flat Earth prerequisite measurement from surface level for an altitude angle. Furthermore, they also would ignore, if you gave them an altitude, let's say you said, okay, it's 1,000 feet from sea level, because that's what all altitudes are. You know, they're asking about a measurement in a category error that's not an elevation angle anymore, it's an elevation, which is different. But elevations also come from flat Earth surface level or sea level, don't they? So it's like, well, this is a lose-lose. You're offering me a flat Earth measurement of height in lieu of a flat Earth measurement of altitude angle. That's what they're doing. It's pathetic.
Yeah. Skipping past the angles as usual. Yeah, that's what I said before. That's what Learns was trying to do with me, saying the height of using trig. The height of Everest has never been measured. It's just a calculation. So, how did you get the height of the mountain? Well, it was an elevation angle. Well, is that a measurement? Well, yeah. Well, it was bloody measured then, wasn't it? It's a measurement. It came from a flat Earth measurement in the very beginning. Crazy.
It's an interesting time, I won't deny.
Yeah, I'm just glad it is where it is. Yeah, and not because of anything untoward or like having to, but all that having to know the heliocentric model and get into all that. Like we thought, it's good to know it. You know it. We do know it, but it's come down to just simplicity of this is how Earth's measured. Surveyors measure it flat. Navigators use it, as a flat baseline because for the elevation angles, that's how mapping is used. Latitude is a elevation angle to and from Polaris from sea level, and we've got sea level that was just given us nicely, and it's level. It's got an average level called mean sea level, and that's the master reference level for all measurements going forward. So it was level to start with, and then we've taken the measurements from the level.
Yeah.
It's just simple, isn't it? It's that's like, if you can't explain that to a child, we've got sea level. We've got an average of sea level. That's the level base for on the Earth where we live. And then from that horizontal sort of average of level, young child, I'm going to draw you a picture of it. And then we've got little mountains and valleys, and we can measure heights above that horizontal level. That'll give us the height of these mountains and hills. We can measure the drop of the hills, rise over run. But that we'll be using that again. We'll be using the horizontal master reference for that. And that's just child's play as far as I'm concerned. That's what it's come down to now. Simple.
Right, the book is now live and available to purchase.
Yes, get in there. Seriously.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Has he just said to you? He just said you that now?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic, Nathan. I'm really, really pleased for you, mate.
You need to go live and make an announcement.
Well, no, I'll announce it officially on tomorrow's show, but in the meantime, I'll stick a link to it in Master B.
What was that? Sorry,
yeah, I'll go on.
I can grab it on Amazon?
No, it's available through my publisher's website. It will be in due course, so I don't know, when people lose interest in the ebook version, I'll then release it on Amazon and you'll be able to buy a hard copy, but initially ebook only.
Could you put that link into
how do we
Discord,
get
please?
it?
Can somebody post the link into the Discord server?
I'm working, so I can't. Fabulous, Nathan. Fabulous. Now you're going on Good Morning America tomorrow. So, Nathan, are you going to wait a little bit till the book is, like being sold, like a bunch of copies purchased, and then start going on a few shows? You're going on to promote it right now. Like, are you going to set something up, like, say, with whoever?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting to get a link today, so I was expecting it to come tomorrow.
Oh, dear. So with that link that somebody's posting in Master B, my wife will be able to order a copy right now?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, measured. Are you going to read that, Nathan? Have we read that out before? Description. Description of the book. Measured flat, all roads lead to flat Earth. Is the work of one of the world's foremost experts on the subject of flat Earth. Nathan's primary YouTube channel, Nathan Oakley 1980, was launched on July the 27th, 2010. It is many years in the making, but this book is the result of thousands upon thousands of hours and years on one of the most important and least understood subjects in the world. Nathan's video have over 10 million views, and his loyal subscribers, approaching 25,000 at the time of this book, are from countries around the world. Only joke. Around the world. Maybe that should say across the world. Yeah. The show attracts at least two groups of people, loyalists who long ago were convinced the Earth is not a sphere, that we do not live in a heliocentric system with the sun at the centre, and that the Copernicus stroke NASA model of the universe is a massive deception. Tire kickers who are curious about the arguments being made and the proofs discussed, while the content is a bit advanced for beginners. Many do start their education with Nathan because they grow to trust him. Nathan's invitation and challenge is like no other. Let's go on a bit. The show invites guests to come and prove their case that the Earth is a sphere and that it rotates on an axis and revolves around the sun. Nathan invites astronomers, mathematicians, scientists, and university professors to come and prove that gravity exists and that the Earth has a radius of 3959 miles, that a vacuum can exist adjacent to gas pressure without containment, that the sun is 93 million miles from the Earth, that the centre of the Earth is molten iron that generates a magnetic field, or that you can acquire an elevation angle from a curved baseline. We've just been talking about that. As of the date of this publication, no one has been able to prove their case on this public channel that is broadcast live. Surely there has been one, perhaps Neil deGrasse Tyson, perhaps Danny Faulkner, perhaps genius from NASA. No, not one. Sincere guests who generally seek the truth are schooled in logic, the scientific method, the laws of thermodynamics, and the fallacies of their own arguments. Of course, the show gets its share of those who think they can destroy Nathan's arguments and humiliate him on his own show for all to see and hear. This is what makes the show so entertaining. Like the loud and arrogant Goliath of ancient times, they are summarily beheaded by their own pseudoscience and fallacious reasoning. And like David, who slew the giant with a small stone and a slingshot, Nathan slays the foolish arguments of the most notorious names in science with few words. I'll end it there because it does go on and might be boring, everyone. But yeah, it's a nice. I'm gonna get to purchasing it right now, to tell you the truth. Excellent, Nathan. Really pleased for you. And Paula.
Awesome. I just need to get my own affiliate link.
Just wanted to let you guys know I just bought my copy.
Awesome.
I promised I'm buying 2, and I am, but I want to send one to my buddy hundreds of miles away, so I'll wait for the Amazon for him and get it shipped out there. Also want to say congratulations. It's no small feat, writing a book, completing it, and having it published and up for sale. So great work, Nathan.
Thanks. I'm just responding to him, so I literally got the email a couple of seconds ago. Cool. Very exciting.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm just sitting my head over here like, damn, I'm broke for another week. But very exciting, and I'll get it as soon as I'm able to.
Cool. Yeah, like I say, I need to get my own affiliate link. At the moment, that's I think that's Chuck's link.
Hey, Nathan Stagg here. Just bought the book, man. Congratulations.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Right, well, on that positive
it's
note,
next step time.
hopefully lots of people are purchasing it. But I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Millimeter, it be accurately measured. It's measured flat, direction up and down.